By then, we'll split the food in Shun Heng's house 50-50. I'm sure Huo Miao will agree. We have no food, and her company has no food either. Even though we broke up, we were friends once. There's still some goodwill left. He picked up his phone, unable to wait any longer, and immediately dialed Huo Miao's number. Huo Miao's phone suddenly rang. Who is it? She frowned. This phone is so tactless and inconsiderate. So annoying. She picked it up and saw that the call was from Su Chao. She frowned slightly, intending to hang up. Just answer it, Shen Heng said with a smile. Huo Miao could only force a smile. She had gotten used to following Shen Heng's every word. She had absolutely no desire to speak to Su Chao, but since Shen Heng had spoken, she had to suppress her disgust and answer the call. Hello. After answering, Huo Miao spoke coldly, her tone distant. Miao Miao, you finally answered my call. On the other end, Su Chao was burning with anxiety. After calling over and over, Huo Miao had finally picked up. He was instantly overjoyed. But Su Chao never considered that if Huo Miao had stayed at the company waiting for him like before, she would have already frozen to death. Everyone was dressed in thin summer clothes, and the company's air conditioning was no longer working. In a situation like that, who could possibly endure? What is it? Huo Miao said coldly. Su Chao, I don't want any contact with you right now. If you have something to say, just say it. All right. Su Chao, now desperate for Huo Miao's help, forced a laugh and called out, Miao Miao. Don't call me that. Huo Miao cut him off directly. Damn it, you're still putting on airs? Su Chao was furious. He knew Huo Miao's personality all too well. After she discovered his affair with Feng Lu, their relationship was completely over. Done for good. Huo Miao would never tolerate a boyfriend who cheated and went so far. Even if he crawled back and begged, she would never forgive him again. I have something important I need your help with, Su Chao said, clearing his throat. Are you still at the company? What if I am? Huo Miao snorted. From what I know, your company has nothing to eat, and it's freezing cold, Su Chao said. Huo Miao, even though we broke up, as your ex-boyfriend, I still hope you can live a better life. You're in big trouble right now, and I can help you solve it. Oh, Huo Miao laughed coldly. She had put the call on speaker so Shen Heng, standing beside her, could hear everything clearly. My trouble? How are you going to solve it? Aren't you all cozy with Feng Lu in the Taiyuan community? You're so far away. How can you save me? Of course I can, Su Chao said hurriedly. Shen Heng has a lot of supplies stored up. Even though it's been snowing for 4 straight days, his fridge is still packed with food. And look, his room is so warm. He's only wearing a thin set of pajamas. Huo Miao, you must know that in this kind of extreme weather, the air conditioning is useless, right? Don't you want to move into his warm room? Huo Miao didn't say a word, only giving Shen Heng a seductive, silky gaze. I've not only moved in, I just did that with this man. Feng Lu and I want to move into Shen Heng's place, but he suspects that she and I are having an improper relationship. At this point, Su Chao didn't bother hiding anything and laid it all out. He wants you to prove that you and Feng Lu have been staying in a different bedroom in our apartment these past few days. So I need you to do me a favor. Of course, I know you won't help for free. I hope we can cooperate. Cooperate how? Huo Miao asked calmly, seeing Shen Heng give her a hand signal. Right now, send a video to Shen Heng to prove to him that you and Feng Lu have been together these past few days. Then he won't have to worry about being cuckolded. Seeing that Huo Miao seemed to be on board, Su Chao's spirits lifted. Just send him a video. No, that could be easily exposed. Just call him directly. In return, I'll personally come and rescue you. I can even arrange for you to move into Shen Heng's warm house too. Rescue me? Is this a joke? Huo Miao said mockingly. You couldn't even pick me up when it was pouring rain. Now that the snow is this heavy, what are you going to use to get me? Aren't you just trying to use me? How can you not believe me? Su Chao said anxiously. At a time like this, why would I lie to you? He paused, then continued. Your company is near Jiangxing University, and I have a younger sister who lives in a community near there. I'll have her pick you up and take you to her community first. I just asked her. She has a habit of stocking up on a lot of food. You won't have to worry about eating for a while. In a few days, when the blizzard dies down, I'll have her bring you here. How does that sound? Bring me here? How? Huo Miao laughed coldly and shook her head. Do you take me for an idiot? You don't have a sister. Why have I never heard you mention one? Besides, in this kind of weather, even if she has food, she wouldn't share it with me, would she? Why would she give it to me? About that. Su Chao hesitated for a moment, glancing at Feng Lu beside him. But at the same time, his stomach rumbled. He gritted his teeth and told the truth. She's a girl I used to date. She was pregnant with my child and wanted to marry me, but I refused and made her get an abortion. She's still deeply in love with me. Whatever I say, she'll do. This time, you should believe me, right? That's right. She's also a professional skier and has all the necessary equipment at home. Do you think, if the snow outside stops completely, that short distance would be any trouble for her? Of course, the most important thing is that she has a snowboard, so she can go out easily without any problems. I just called her, and she agreed. Well, meow, now it all depends on you. Su Chao closed his eyes and confessed everything. Feng Lu, standing beside him, stared wide-eyed. She looked at Su Chao in disbelief. You said she was just a good friend of yours. Feng Lu asked blankly. Su Chao revealed a bitter smile. Xiao Lu, I did lie to you before, but I had no choice. I truly love you, so don't worry, I've already cut all ties with her. Everything I'm doing now is just so we can survive. In the future, I will have absolutely no contact with her whatsoever. Anymore? As soon as we're safe, I'll delete her contact information immediately. You lied to me. You lied to me. Feng Lu's face became crazed. She lunged at Su Chao like a wild beast, her long, sharp fingernails scratching his face. Enough! Su Chao immediately pushed her away, roaring in anger. Feng Lu, if you keep this up, don't blame me for turning on you. What time is it for you to be so childish? If we keep starving, we'll just be waiting to die? If you want to die, go die by yourself, but I don't want to. Feng Lu was stunned. But this time, she fell silent and didn't attack again. Seeing her like this, Su Chao couldn't help but pull her into an embrace, speaking gently. That woman and I are over, just like how Huo Miao and I broke up. We'll never have any other kind of relationship. I will marry you, you can rest assured, Feng Lu asked. Of course, Su Chao was about to promise more, but Huo Miao interrupted him. All right, I get it. I'll contact Shenheng now. While Su Chao and Feng Lu were arguing, Shenheng had leaned in and whispered instructions in her ear. Shenheng also wanted to see if there really was such a foolishly devoted woman in this world, one willing to do so much for a scumbag like Su Chao. After all, even if the university community was close, going out in this freezing weather, unless you had a snowmobile like his, you'd almost certainly freeze to death. Could Su Chao really be that charming? He couldn't believe it. In this cold weather, Shenheng had no intention of letting Su Chao and Feng Lu freeze to death so easily. It's only the 4th day of the apocalypse. If they die this easily, it would be so boring. The future ice age is still long. I'll destroy them after I'm done playing. Of course, this time is limited to the first 15 days of the apocalypse. After all, on the 15th day, the ability fruit will appear. If Su Chao gets an ability fruit and activates his ice-type ability, getting rid of him will be a bit more troublesome. Shenheng didn't want to leave a potential threat for himself. I'll let you live for another 10 days. You agree? Su Chao smiled brightly. Huo Miao coldly hung up the phone. Putting it down, she pouted and said, Why do you want me to cooperate with him? Don't you find it interesting? Cooped up at home all day, there's nothing fun to do. Just think of it as watching a good show, Shenheng said with a laugh. Besides, I won't let them step foot in here. Don't you worry. More importantly, I have no feelings left for Feng Lu. A woman like that, even if she threw herself at me, I wouldn't even blink. In my eyes, there's only you, my baby. Honey, Huo Miao gave him a passionate kiss. Her heart moved, but she couldn't help but sigh. If your heart only has me, then there wouldn't be another woman's red hair on your neck. After all, Shenheng was fully geared up when he went out. If he wasn't intimate with a woman, how could her hair get on his neck? If that woman really goes to our company and I'm not there, what should we do? After kissing for a while, Huo Miao suddenly remembered this problem and asked. That's simple, Shenheng smiled. Didn't you call a female colleague at your company? Just call her again. Hearing Shenheng's words, Huo Miao chuckled and shook her head, then dialed Ling Ling's number. This was the female colleague she had contacted before. She didn't know if she was still alive or had frozen to death. The phone had just started ringing when Ling Ling picked up. Huo Miao, why are you calling me? Ling Ling's voice carried a hint of resentment. She had pleaded with Huo Miao to save her before, but what did Huo Miao say? She told them to go die. You want to know if we're dead yet? Sorry, we're doing just fine. Want me to video call you and show you? Ling Ling curled up, inching closer to the bonfire in front of her. It's not just me. Many people in our company are still alive. Ling Ling laughed coldly, including President Wang and the others. Beside her sat several other haggard-looking colleagues. When the colleagues contacted their relatives and friends, everyone's spirits were lifted. But the people they could reach were unable to come and help. For days, they had almost all given up hope. Now, even though they heard Hua Miao calling, everyone just glanced over before lowering their heads, holding pieces of wood dismantled from their desks and emotionlessly tossing them into the fire. Ling Ling, do you want to live? Hua Miao ignored the others' mockery and asked directly. Nonsense, who doesn't? Ling Ling retorted sarcastically. But you don't have to say it like that. You want to show off how well you're doing, right? I don't want to hear it. If you want to live, you'd better listen to what I have to say. This time, Ling Ling didn't speak. I have an online friend, a very good bestie I met online. She lives right near the company. She's a skier and can easily get to the company to rescue you. Hua Miao said slowly. I'm safe now, but I feel bad about you guys, so I lied to her and said I'm still at the company. This is so you can leave smoothly. Ling Ling's pupils contracted. She said nothing. Like I just said, she's an online friend, so she's never seen a picture of me. She only knows my name is Hua Miao. Hua Miao continued. Later, when she gets to the company, I'll send you a WeChat message first. When you see her, just say you're Hua Miao, and she'll take you away. If you don't want to, I'll contact other colleagues. I agree, Ling Ling said excitedly. Her voice was a few decibels too loud, and she quickly shrank back. Clutching her phone, she stood up and walked out to the back corridor. She asked hurriedly, Hua Miao, is everything you just said true? Do I need to lie to you? Hua Miao rolled her eyes. No, I didn't mean it like that. Anyway, if I can leave the company, I'm truly grateful to you. Ling Ling was moved to tears. As long as I can leave this company and survive, I, Ling Ling, will never forget this great kindness for the rest of my life. Don't let it slip. Don't let anyone else know, understand? Hua Miao instructed. Ling Ling nodded vigorously. After hanging up, she wiped her tears and took 2 deep breaths. Once she had calmed down, she walked back into the office. The exhaustion and cold of the past few days had completely vanished. But Ling Ling had no idea that while she was on the phone in the corridor, Wang Qingguang had been hiding at the back door not far away, staring at her with gleaming eyes. Now you can reply to Su Chao's call, Hua Miao said, putting down her phone and turning to ask Shenheng. No rush. Let them wait. Shenheng glanced at the surveillance monitor. Su Chao had already coaxed Feng Lu, and the two were hugging again. Why didn't I realize it before? That idiot Feng Lu is so easy to coax. Or maybe, this woman's entire heart is devoted to Su Chao, and she's completely obedient to him. Shenheng zoomed in on the surveillance screen, carefully examining Su Chao's room. He remembered clearly that Feng Lu had bought 4 smoked pork knuckles and 8 bags of instant noodles from him. What he didn't expect was that these 2 idiots, having bought so many instant noodles, had already eaten them all. The empty noodle packets and pork knuckle bags were all scattered on the floor. The quantity proved it. After being hungry for so long, to eat 8 bags of instant noodles in one day. Aren't they afraid of eating themselves to death? And now they're hungry again. Shenheng lazily picked up his phone and posted a message in the Harmony Brings Wealth resident group. Supplies continue to be sold, but this weather is still dragging on with no signs of improvement. I don't have much left either. Today, the price of supplies will double. That means 1 bag of instant noodles is 2,000 yuan. Same for a smoked pork knuckle. The prices for everything else can be inferred from that. Tomorrow, prices will be adjusted again depending on the weather. Today's supplies are limited. First come, first served. As soon as this message was posted, the previously quiet resident group erupted with responses from many people. A few people grumbled, complaining that Shunheng's prices were too high. 1 yuan was already an astronomical price, and now he wanted to double it. 2,000 for a bag of instant noodles? For 2,000 yuan, you could buy so many boxes. But Shenheng didn't even glance at these replies. The community manager had already proactively muted them. Then, Shenheng received a private message from the community manager. Brother, you just posted. Do you want me to pin your message to the top of the group? I've already muted those idiots who were cursing at you. His words were full of flattery. You didn't kick them out of the group? Shinhung asked. Of course not. Without your instruction, I wouldn't dare. The community manager explained hurriedly. That's good. Shinhung nodded in satisfaction. Manager Zhang, you don't have anything to eat at home, do you? I'll be down in the transaction tunnel later. You come down too. Don't line up at the front. Just come at the very end. I'll get you some things. Yes. Thank you, brother. If you need anything, just let me know. The community manager's eyes lit up, expressing his gratitude repeatedly. This brother is so tactful. He immediately pulled Shinhung into all the large and small resident groups of the Taoyuan community and started helping him promote. All I did was lift a finger, and he gave me such a great gift. Now, it's just a small favor for my brother. Besides, receiving supplies from Shinhung for no reason made him a little uneasy, so naturally, he promoted him with all his might. And in the group, even more people started frantically adding Shinhung as a friend. Yesterday, they still couldn't believe that Shinhung could have so many supplies. When many people went down to the tunnel to buy things, they were still skeptical. But today, they no longer had a shred of doubt. Especially when they saw the words supplies are limited, first come, first served. They became even more frantic, scrambling to contact him. Yesterday, only about 100 people contacted him. For a large residential community with 7,000 households, this was like a drop in the ocean. But now, everyone believed in the strength of harmony brings wealth. The man possessed a huge amount of supplies. Therefore, even though the prices doubled today, the residents, so hungry their stomachs were touching their backs, all started contacting Shinhung. Of course, there were still many people who had stored food. It had only been 4 days, and some families who usually cooked still had plenty of food and drink. However, the lack of water was a major problem. Even if you have food at home, you can't go without drinking water, right? They also started contacting Shinhung. There were also some who thought they were clever. Seeing the snow falling endlessly from the sky, they thought of going out to collect some clean snow to take home and melt. Isn't this rootless water? It just lacks nutrients, but it shouldn't kill you, right? While everyone was scrambling to buy supplies from Shinhung, someone suddenly posted a message in the resident group. Damn it, don't drink the snow outside. The 3 people in the apartment across from me went out to get snow. As soon as they drank it, they all died. 1 stone caused 1,000 ripples. The homeowners who were looking to buy supplies were all stunned. Someone asked tremblingly, "Is that true? My dad just went downstairs to get some. He just drank it a few minutes ago. This snow is poisonous," another person chimed in. Then, a voice message was sent. I just drank the water. It's disgusting. My head is spinning." All sound suddenly stopped. For a moment, everyone's hair stood on end. Even though they didn't see it with their own eyes, they shivered without feeling the cold. The family across from me went to shovel snow together this morning. They came back, and I haven't heard anything from them since. I wonder if something happened to them. My friend lives downstairs from me. He told me he was going to get some snow water to drink, but now I can't contact him. A series of messages poured out. Everyone felt a chill run down their spine. At this moment, the person who had asked earlier started crying. Shinhung, Lili Yuan Shang Chao, big brother, harmony brings wealth. Do you have any medicine? My dad is still vomiting. He just drank the snow water a few minutes ago and is already vomiting blood. You have supplies. You must have a way to save people, right? I have money. As long as you save my dad, I'll give you 100,000. No, 200,000. No one spoke. Shinhung shook his head. In his previous life, people had died from drinking snow water. That's why Shinhung never dared to risk it with the snow. In this life, he even tried his best not to let snow touch him. The clothes he wore outside were immediately thrown out the door every time he came home. He would also wash his hands first, and even luxuriously use his stored spring water to bathe. In his previous life, there was a period when he couldn't find water to drink, and Shinhung even drank his own urine. Later, Shinhung found a store that sold drinking water, and there were several large barrels of spring water inside, which finally solved his drinking water problem. In this life, a similar situation of death from drinking snow would occur. Shinhung was no saint. He had no intention of reminding them. In the apocalypse, too many people died. Shinhung couldn't possibly save them all. Recalling his previous life, it seemed that people started drinking the water after 4 days of the apocalypse. Unexpectedly, it was the same in this life. Harmony brings wealth. Sorry, I'm not a doctor. I can't save him. Lili Yuan Shang Chao said nothing, perhaps in despair. But at this moment, someone in the group spoke up. Yi Chiao. Harmony brings wealth. Do you have purgatives, emetics, and antibiotics? I'm a doctor. I hope I can help a little. A doctor? Shen Heng frowned. Even though hiding at home was relatively safe, in the cold winter, it was inevitable that he would need a doctor. Besides, he didn't particularly like using the blue spirit. What if Hu Miao got pregnant in the future? He might even need a doctor to help with the delivery. Although it was the apocalypse, Shen Heng also hoped to have his own child. Relying on the vending machine, even if he had a child, he couldn't let the child suffer. This doctor, if possible, Shen Heng hoped to use her for himself. Harmony brings wealth. Yi Chiao, I do have the medicine. But purgatives are 50,000, emetics are 80,000, and antibiotics are 100,000. A total of 200,000 for the whole package. Shen Heng, in order to upgrade the vending machine, had gone on a crazy shopping spree for items, including, of course, medicine. Now, with the outside temperature at dozens of degrees below zero and the world covered in ice and snow, Shen Heng was still a normal person. If he wasn't careful, he could catch a cold. If something really went wrong and he died early, it would be too unfair. He didn't just buy cold medicine, he bought many other types of pharmaceuticals as well. In his previous life, after Shen Heng gained abilities, his physical constitution did improve significantly. Even his resistance to cold became much stronger. But now, he still didn't have any abilities. To protect his life, he naturally placed medicine on the same level of importance as food. Moreover, this kind of medicine didn't take up much space. In the storage room, Hu Miao had already helped him organize the medicine neatly. It was piled up in a corner. Lili Yuan Shang Chao, 200,000? That's so expensive. Why don't you just rob someone? The others in the group also started buzzing. Harmony brings wealth. If you think it's expensive, you don't have to buy it. I'll say it again, I'm just a merchant, not a charity. Lili Yuan Shang Chao didn't speak. He felt like he was being taken advantage of. After all, he had just said in the group that if his father could be saved, he was willing to pay 200,000. Damn, and in the blink of an eye, this guy really demanded 200,000 from me. The key is, that's all the money he has. Yi Chiao, these medicines aren't that expensive. You don't need to raise the price that much, do you? Even as a merchant, you should have some humanity. Harmony brings wealth. That's not how you make money. Harmony brings wealth. Yi Chiao, if you don't want to buy, then shut up. You're such a saint. Why don't you pay for it? Shen Heng sneered. So what if you're a doctor? There are so many people in this community. You're surely not the only doctor. But in a normal person's home, who would stock purgatives and emetics? If I don't sell to you, you can find a way yourselves. Besides, so many people went out to shovel snow and drank the snow water. If I sell the medicine cheap, damn it, they'll all rush to buy it. How am I supposed to upgrade my vending machine then? Yi Chiao didn't speak. Although the others in the group didn't dare to criticize Shen Heng, some of them started scheming. Bo Song La Fong, Lili Yuan Shang Chao, there's a hospital next to our community. Why don't you go to the hospital and look for it? Ao Tuong Squell. That's right, it's not far from the community. The hospital definitely has these medicines. Old Wong. 200,000 is too unreasonable. Harmony brings wealth. Why don't you just rob a bank? You're too ruthless. Shen Heng didn't sell food to Old Wong, so he said whatever he wanted. At this moment, Yi Chiao spoke up in the group again. According to feedback from other homeowners, after drinking the snow water, you will soon lose consciousness and die. Normally, going to the hospital would be in time, but with such heavy snow outside now, how long would a round trip take? You still have to find the medicine at the hospital. By the time you bring it back, I'm afraid the person will already be cold. In room 2602, Ning Jiao sighed. She wore a pair of gold-rimmed glasses on her nose, helplessly looking at the homeowner's chat group on her mobile phone. The blizzard covered the sky. She hadn't eaten anything for more than a day. Moreover, her husband was still working at the Scientific Research Institute, which was quite far from the Taoyuan community. Since yesterday, she hadn't been able to contact her husband. As a doctor, her main job was to save people. Therefore, even though she was hungry, when she saw someone send out a distress signal, she still took the initiative, thinking the other party needed help. Of course, if she could save someone in exchange for some food, that would be even better. Her nickname was Yi. She just didn't expect that the nouveau riche named Harmony Brings Wealth in the group would demand such a high price for emetics, purgatives, and antibiotics. Although she had money, she couldn't pay for medicine for others in the group. Unfortunately, she didn't have these medicines at home. Exiting the chat group, she asked her hospital colleagues for a moment. When the apocalypse descended, the hospital was on duty. She happened to be on the day shift and went home despite the blizzard. But the colleagues who were on duty were not so lucky. They were all huddled in the hospital. The hospital was large, and the cafeteria and inpatient area were quite far apart. In this cold weather, the main entrance on the first floor was covered by heavy snow. They couldn't get to the cafeteria at all. A colleague replied hurriedly, "Dr. Ning, those medicines are all gone now." Many colleagues and patients in the hospital drank the water because they were both hungry and thirsty. To save people, everyone dug a tunnel through the snow to the pharmacy storage room. These medicines were all used to rescue colleagues and patients. The colleagues also drank the snow water. Ning Jiao's heart sank. She quickly said, "Absolutely do not drink anymore. There's definitely poison in the snow. Of course, I won't talk anymore. I have to go save people first." Putting down her phone, Ning Jiao helplessly rubbed her temples, her face full of despair. She tried calling her husband again. It was still the same familiar recording. "The number you have dialed is switched off." Ning Jiao bit her lip and closed her eyes in pain. As a successful PhD who had studied abroad, Ning Jiao had exquisite medical skills. Although she was not yet 30, she was already the director of the emergency department. She was used to seeing life and death. But in the current apocalyptic situation, coupled with losing contact with her husband and enduring hunger and cold for a long time, she knew very well that her husband had most likely met with an accident. The scientific research institute where her husband worked was a sterile chemistry lab. There was no food or drink there at all, only sophisticated equipment and instruments. In a place like that, how could one survive? Moreover, her husband didn't bring his usual phone charger. Even if he survived, he's now trapped inside the lab, and his phone has probably been dead for a long time. She couldn't even get out the door, let alone think about finding her husband. She was completely powerless. Just then, her mobile phone rang. Ning Jiao collected herself and quickly picked it up. In the homeowners group, someone mentioned her name. Ning Jiao was a little disappointed, but still opened the chat group. "Old Wang, Yi, you're a doctor? Are you in the same group as that Harmony Brings Wealth guy? You actively recommend others to buy his sky-high priced drugs, and then you two split the money, right? What nonsense about travel time being long? You're just deliberately saying that to scare everyone." Ning Jiao was stunned. She didn't expect her helpless suggestion to be met with such disdain. "Me and Harmony Brings Wealth are in the same group? What a joke." Ning Jiao was trembling with anger and quickly typed a reply. But just as she was about to send it, she paused, finally deleting it. Then she replied nonchalantly, "Say whatever you want. I'm a doctor in the emergency department of Jiangxing People's Hospital. My name is Ning Jiao. I just asked my colleagues. Many people in the hospital also got sick from the water, and the medicine is all gone. Now, even if you want to go get it, I'm afraid there's none left." Then, she posted a screenshot of her conversation with her colleague. Old Wang didn't speak. Lili Yuan Shangchao was quite anxious. "Dr. Ning, I've heard of you. So what should I do? My father, if you can afford it, I suggest you ask Harmony Brings Wealth to buy the medicine. If not, then there's no better way. You decide for yourself," Ning Jiao replied calmly. As a doctor, she had witnessed too many partings of life and death. She was just calmly giving the best suggestion. As for whether the patient's family would accept it, that was not her business. "Old Wang, look at that, everyone. And you say you're not in the same group. This suggestion you've given, besides asking that bastard who only cares about profit to buy things, what other good ideas are there?" A vein popped on Ning Jiao's forehead. "Then do you have a better idea, Old Wang? Don't be sarcastic. If you can save him, then you do it." Old Wang didn't speak. Shun Hung smiled, holding Huo Miao on the sofa, enjoying the show. This group is really lively. Unfortunately, in a short while, the people in this group will basically all be dead. That's right, this Old Wang will be the first to die. Shun Hung smiled coldly, narrowing his eyes. "I won't sell you anything. Let's see if you're the first one to starve to death. He got up and started collecting supplies. Because his consciousness space was locked today, he had to carry everything himself since leaving the door. The distance was quite a journey. Fortunately, Shun Hung had ridden a bicycle yesterday. However, today, blankets, shoes, and the like were out. He could only try to sell some convenient food, like instant noodles, bread, and other things. That's fine too. When those homeowners see that I'm not selling much, they'll probably scramble for it soon. The price can also rise with the tide. He and Huo Miao packed the supplies into sacks and then tied them to the bicycle. This time, the bicycle basket, both sides, and the back seat were all bulging sacks, stuffed full. Thanks to the wide underground passage and the fact that there was no one around, Shun Hung was able to wobble his way forward on the bike. To avoid attracting attention, he wore another thick windbreaker over the system-selected one. Although he looked very bulky, Shun Heng's movements were not significantly affected. The system-selected windbreaker, to put it bluntly, was almost skin-tight. In the apocalypse, others wore over 10 pounds of thick clothes, looking like rice dumplings, but all the clothes Shun Hung wore combined didn't weigh much. I'm off. Shun Hung smiled at Huo Miao and gave her a kiss. Be careful. Huo Miao nodded obediently. Although she still didn't understand why Shun Hung wanted to sell supplies, and seeing that the supplies in the basement were running low, she was still very understanding and didn't ask any more questions. If Shun Hung didn't want to say, then she shouldn't ask. However, she remembered the red hair on Shun Heng's neck and found it hard to accept. Shun Hung must want many women. He, the one who holds a huge amount of supplies, will surely have women throwing themselves at him. In that case, it's better for me to take the initiative to help Shun Hung build his harem first. I am the first woman. If I can satisfy Shun Hung, then I will be the master of the harem. Besides, I want to bond with each of Shun Heng's women, even advance and retreat together. That way, my life can be guaranteed. She tilted her head, staring at the large door of the underground passage leading to Villa number 3. Not far away, the large door was tightly closed. Plus me. She narrowed her eyes. In a moment, if I find 2 more women for Shun Hung, will he still have the strength to resist? That way, he won't have time to go out and play during the day either. She wanted to go knock on the door, but she was afraid of exposing herself. In an apocalyptic situation, even if there was no one in the underground passage, it was best for her not to stay outside. Remembering Shun Heng's instructions, Huo Miao quickly turned and went home. After returning home, Huo Miao saw Shun Heng's old phone still on the sofa. This was his old phone, logged into his original WeChat account. He was holding his new phone, logged into the Harmony Brings Wealth WeChat account used specifically for business. Without the consciousness space, Shun Hung could only try not to carry too many things on him, so he left his old phone behind. Shun Heng's phone is still here. Huo Miao's eyes lit up, and she quickly picked it up. Shun Hung had already told Huo Miao the password to this phone. Because he was a simp, besides clinging to Feng Lu, he had no other little secrets. Shun Hung himself had just told Huo Miao that this phone could also be used to check the surveillance on Su Chao and Feng Lu, telling her to see what other schemes these 2 dogs were up to. It was really convenient for her now. Huo Miao unlocked the phone and then found Yang Jinxian's WeChat account from within. She had pushed her contact card to me. Huo Miao then used her own mobile phone to add Yang Jinxian as a friend. Shun Hung naturally didn't know that Huo Miao was arranging to get him a concubine at home. If he knew, Shun Hung would at least have to praise her for being truly obedient and sensible. And she even got 2 at once, 2 sisters at that. You couldn't find such a good wife even in your dreams. He was currently struggling to ride his bicycle, heading south. Fortunately, the underground tunnel was flat and wide. Although riding was difficult, it was much less strenuous than having to walk and pull the sacks. After the system is upgraded, I definitely want to buy a pickup truck. Shun Heng panted, thinking to himself. At that time, driving a pickup to transport things, this is just too tiring. Arriving at the old spot, he took down the sacks and placed them on the ground. Only then did he sit down on a small stool and post a message in the homeowners group. I've arrived. Anyone who wants to buy supplies, come down now. Remember, supplies are limited. Once they're sold out, that's it. Don't talk about reservations or other useless things. I only accept cash, not people. As soon as this message was posted, someone quickly ran out. Big Boss, Harmony Brings Wealth, has announced it. Only cash, no people. This was a young man. He ran all the way to Shunhung. After glancing at the sacks on the ground, he opened his mouth and asked, "Big brother, are you selling all of this as a package?" "A package deal?" Shunhung looked surprised. "Yes," the young man nodded. "I just saw you say you only accept cash, not people, so I wanted to ask. If you don't want to sell it all to me, that's fine too. Don't be angry. I can buy it piece by piece like usual." Shunhung glanced at him. This person looked about his age, with a cautious but also very sharp demeanor. His eyes were full of sincerity, and he spoke very humbly. I have to say, I have a pretty good impression of him. You want to buy it all?" Shunhung asked tentatively. The young man looked around. He had come to the underground tunnel earlier and had been waiting here just to meet Harmony Brings Wealth in private first. "It's fine, you can speak first. As long as you can convince me, even if others come down, I won't sell to them," Shunhung said with interest. "Yes," the young man replied. "My name is Guo Yupeng. My family is in the used car business. Big brother, I'll be honest with you. If you sell the supplies to me, firstly, I can feed my whole family. Secondly, the surplus supplies can be resold to generate capital. That's why I wanted to meet you in private first. Of course, even if I resell these surplus supplies, the price will definitely be higher than what you're offering, but I absolutely won't undercut your prices." Guo Yupeng. Shunhung was stunned. This name sounds so familiar. He remembered that in his previous life, after Song Zhengming unified the northern city, he had a strategist by his side named Guo Yupeng. Among the major forces in the city, Song Zhengming was mentioned first. The other forces were all wary of Song Zhengming's invasion. Initially, Song Zhengming did have a plan to advance into the western city and then gradually conquer it. But after recruiting Guo Yupeng, he suddenly changed his mind, fortified the northern city, and focused on managing it. As for the other forces in Jiangqing, seeing that Song Zhengming made no move, they started fighting among themselves first. By the time Shunhung was about to die, the other forces in Jiangqing were fighting fiercely, while Song Zhengming remained inactive. He had seen that Song Zhengming must have used some trick to stir up trouble. Otherwise, the other forces would have definitely united to resist Song Zhengming first. This Guo Yupeng is truly a formidable character. Shunhung withdrew his gaze. He didn't think that Song Zhengming, that madman, had this kind of strategic mind. Now, Guo Yupeng's sincere words made Shunhung feel a little tempted to take him on as a subordinate. "Whether you're that Guo Yupeng or not, you look very sharp. Giving you a chance is a good idea." Shunhung squinted, looking behind Guo Yupeng. Guo Yupeng also noticed that many people were running out from the underground tunnels of each building, heading this way. His expression was a little anxious. He had been observing the group for 2 days. He even came downstairs yesterday to watch Shunheng's transactions. The supplies this big boss, Harmony Brings Wealth, brought out were truly terrifyingly abundant. He had everything you could want, even selling oil heaters. Guo Yupeng was green with envy. His child at home was only 1 year old. If he could buy an oil heater, his child wouldn't have to suffer from the cold and hunger anymore. Unfortunately, he only observed for a while and didn't make a prior appointment with Shunhung. Today, he did add Shunhung on WeChat and asked for a bit. He wanted to buy an oil heater, but Shunhung said they were temporarily out of stock. Before Guo Yupeng could be disappointed, Shunhung added that there would be oil heaters for sale tomorrow. This surprised him greatly. You have to know, in this kind of weather, it's impossible for people to go out. How could this mysterious big boss be out of stock today, but have more tomorrow? It was simply too absurd. So he boldly came here, intending to ask, "Harmony brings wealth." After all, although this big boss had a bad temper, from what Guo Yupeng gathered from the group messages, he was still considered a very reasonable person. When people were having normal discussions, this big boss wouldn't participate. On the contrary, only when shameless people like Old Wong spoke up would he open his mouth to shut them down. "All right, I'll give you a chance." Shunhung nodded. "These supplies, I'll sell them all to you as a package." He casually patted the sacks, signaling for Guo Yupeng to look, then asked, "I won't say how much there is. You make a reasonable offer yourself." He intended to test the other party a little. Guo Yupeng was stunned for a moment. You want me to set the price myself?" He tilted his head, carefully examining the sacks one by one, before tentatively asking, "I estimate you have about 5 boxes of instant noodles, which is 140 bags. About 80 loaves of bread. At your price of 2,000 per item, the total would be 440,000. If you're willing to sell it all, I'll pay a total of 500,000. Is that okay? What a sharp eye. Shen Heng nodded in satisfaction. Yesterday, he went to the underground plaza and took supplies out of his consciousness space, so naturally, there was much more. Today, he rode an old bicycle and brought limited supplies, which was indeed about what Gui Yupeng said. Then 500,000 it is. Shen Heng nodded in satisfaction. I can sell all of this to you. But remember, those people in the group I said I wouldn't sell to, you won't sell to them either. I won't sell to them either, Gui Yupeng nodded hurriedly. The people you want to ban are my enemies. Very good, Shen Heng said with a smile. I'll observe you for a few days. If you're really suitable, I'll consider you one of my own. After that, I'll provide for your family's food and drink for free, as long as you're willing to be loyal to me. Of course I'm willing. Gui Yupeng was overjoyed. He didn't expect this big boss to be willing to take him as a subordinate and even provide for him for free. You have to know, although he was in the used car business and had considerable assets, most of it was tied up in cars. He didn't have much liquid capital in his account. If he continued to buy from Shen Heng like this, with the price of supplies possibly doubling in a few days, he wouldn't be able to afford it. But now, the other party was willing to give him such an opportunity. What was there to hesitate about? Gui Yupeng wanted to kneel and kowtow right then. Shen Heng stopped him and said, All right, let's make the transaction first. Gui Yupeng transferred the money to Shen Heng. Shen Heng instructed, These things are all yours now. You can do whatever you want with them. Keep them for yourself or sell them. I won't stop you. However, I'll remind you, you only need to keep enough to eat for today. Tomorrow, I'll bring much better things. Tomorrow, my consciousness space will be unlocked, and I can buy many things inside. Naturally, I won't have to think about bread or instant noodles anymore. Big boss, I'll listen to you. Gui Yupeng nodded repeatedly. Here's another gift for you. Shen Heng took out a dagger and quietly handed it to Gui Yupeng, lowering his voice. In this apocalypse, people's hearts are unpredictable. This is a gift for you for self-defense. Thank you, big boss. Gui Yupeng accepted the dagger, so moved he didn't know what to say. Oh right, my surname is Shun. You can just call me Brother Shun. Shen Heng patted Gui Yupeng's shoulder, then rode his bicycle towards apartment 4201. In his bicycle basket, there was a small bag containing supplies for the property manager. He hadn't seen this fatty for a day and actually missed him a little. Of course, what he missed was the property manager's wife. Bai Shuwan, his college dream girl. In his previous life, the property manager, lacking food and drink, had pushed Bai Shuwan out in exchange for a lot of supplies. So in this life, since I'm providing him with food and drink, he should be sensible enough to offer Bai Shuwan to me with both hands, right? Old Zhang, isn't harmony brings wealth coming to the underground tunnel to trade? He even promised to give you food. Why aren't you hurrying up? What's the rush? His daily transactions rely on me as the bridge in the group. Won't he just bring the stuff to my door? It's so cold outside, you could really freeze to death. He has the supplies. What are you so proud of? Don't piss him off, or we'll starve. He dares? Haha. Even if he doesn't give it, at worst, my wife can make a move. Won't that guy immediately kneel and lick her boots? What nonsense are you talking about? Haha, just kidding. I'm going now. In room 4201, Shen Heng heard the cheerful laughter from inside and shook his head with a smile. This property manager really thinks he's important. A bridge in the group? How inconvenient. I just outsourced this supply business. If Gui Yupeng does well, I won't need you anymore. Besides, if it weren't for your wife being named by Shuwan, do you think I would bring supplies to you? At this moment, the property manager came to the door. As he opened it, he turned his head and said, You have to be careful at home. Don't go showing off your seductive charm to men just because I can't perform. What are you talking about? Bai Shuwan said coquettishly. I know you're not good in that department. Only by saying things like that to stimulate you do you feel anything. But I love you. The property manager gave a few more instructions. As he opened the door, he saw a figure standing right in front of him, which scared him out of his wits. Looking closely, it turned out to be Harmony brings wealth. The smile on his face was a little stiff. Did he hear what my wife and I were just talking about? Shen Heng was still wearing yesterday's outfit, a leather hat, snow goggles, and a pitch-black mask. The fat on the property manager's face trembled. Be big boss, why? Why are you here? Bai Shuan heard the conversation at the door and also hurried over. Seeing Shun Hung, she blushed and couldn't help but glare at her husband, then quickly said, You must be Mr. Harmony Brings Wealth, right? I've heard about you from old Zhang. Thank you so much for the supplies. Please come in. Yes, please come in. The property manager reacted and quickly stepped aside. Shun Hung swaggered into the house and placed the bag on the table. The couple's eyes were immediately drawn to the bag. The property manager wanted to pull the bag open to see what was inside, but with Shun Hung there, he didn't dare to do so and could only stand still. Sit. Shun Hung acted as if he were in his own home, comfortably sitting down on the sofa, then said, I brought you quite a few things today. There's self-heating hot pot and self-heating rice. The couple's eyes lit up. He even has these things. Right now, even a bag of instant noodles sells for 2,000. So how much would self-heating hot pot and rice cost? It was truly unimaginable. Old Zhang, Shun Hung suddenly spoke. He had previously called him Manager Zhang, but now he had changed the way he addressed him. The property manager didn't pay much attention. He stood still, a flattering smile on his face. Please speak. You're truly blessed. Shun Hung turned his head and looked deeply at Bai Shuan. After so many years, Bai Shuan had matured a lot compared to her school days, but she also had more charm. Although her looks and figure couldn't compare to Huo Miao's, she was still considered a little beauty, captivating one's heart. Plus, there was the bonus factor of their past as classmates. Shuan was glanced at by Shun Hung, and her face immediately turned red. She lowered her head shyly. The property manager regained his composure and said with a forced smile, She's all right. I had my eye on her as soon as she started working in property management. Then something happened to her family. Her father got sick and was hospitalized. I helped out a bit, paid for the medical expenses, and she was grateful to me, so she followed me. So that's how it is. Shun Hung understood. He had thought that after a few years, Bai Shuan had become vain. But with her beauty, she could have easily found someone richer. Why waste her youth on a property manager like him? Marrying a fat man more than 10 years older than her, what's the use? It turned out to be out of gratitude. I came here today to tell you something. From now on, you don't need to help me with those homeowner groups anymore. Shun Hung turned his head and looked at the property manager. I've already transferred this supply business to someone else. Huh? The property manager was stunned. What do you mean? It means, from now on, I won't have to go out and sell things anymore. Shun Hung stood up and smiled. I won't be out tomorrow. Oh, right, a reminder for you two. Tomorrow, the price of supplies will at least double again. So if you can buy now, it's best to buy some to stock up. After all, with this weather, who knows when the snow will stop falling? The couple, Bai Shuan, felt a jolt in their hearts and instinctively looked out the window. Outside the window, heavy snow was still falling. The sky was still gloomy, with no sign of the snow stopping. And in the community courtyard, the accumulated snow was even thicker. Yesterday, it was only up to the first floor. Now it was almost reaching the second floor balcony windows. At this rate, in just another week, won't the snow cover our entire sixth floor? What scared them even more was that supplies would double in price again. Right now, a bag of instant noodles is 2,000. If it doubles again, won't that be 4,000? Who can afford that? Before, with Shun Hung providing supplies, they didn't have to worry. But now, hearing that Shun Hung would no longer be selling supplies, the property manager was completely panicked. Brother, big boss, you're not selling anymore? Then what are we supposed to do? Shun Hung didn't speak, but frowned at the property manager. The property manager regained his composure, a sheepish smile on his face. I didn't mean to trick you. I was just a little anxious. Although his family was still relatively well off, after earning a large sum of money before, he had already paid off his mortgage. Now, his savings were basically gone. Thinking about the stupid thing he did a few days ago, he wanted to slap himself. What's wrong with keeping that money? But he heard that Bai Shuan's younger brother was getting married and was afraid his wife would ask for money. Wasn't he wrong to do that? Bai Shuan's family, to treat her father's illness, had spent all their money. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been his turn to have her. Now, hearing Shun Heng's words, he was completely panicked. First of all, what you do has nothing to do with me, Shun Hung said indifferently. To put it bluntly, we are exchanging benefits. You let me post ads to sell supplies in the groups, and I give you some supplies. From the other homeowner groups, don't they all post ads to sell things? But have they given you any money or items? Actually, between us, you're the one who benefits. I'm not wrong, am I? The property manager nodded awkwardly. As for your life from now on, you can find my person to buy supplies, Shenheng said again. Considering our relationship isn't bad. Tomorrow, a bag of instant noodles I sell to others for 5,000, I'll have him give you a 20% discount and sell it to you for 4,000. How about that? Brother, that's taking good care of you, right? The property manager's lips trembled. A bag of instant noodles for 5,000? And he gives me a 20% discount, so it's still 4,000? That's outrageous. But what could he say? There are so many rich people in the community. Let alone 5,000, even for 10,000, many people would scramble to buy it. It's already good that he's willing to give me a discount. He mentally calculated his savings again and sadly discovered that his meager amount of money couldn't even buy a box of instant noodles. You have to help us a little. We will definitely be very grateful. Bai Shuan's face was pale. She wasn't stupid and could imagine that without supplies, she wouldn't be able to survive for more than a few days. Haha. Shenheng looked at Bai Shuan's beautiful face and said slowly, if old Zhang doesn't have money, he can also trade other things. I'm leaving now. Shenheng turned his head and smiled at the property manager, then left the room. Other things. Bai Shuan was a little dazed, frowning as she calculated. Old Zhang, what else of value do we have in our house? We barely saved up over $1 million, and you paid off the mortgage with all of it. Now the family savings are only about 100,000, right? Plus my few pieces of jewelry. I'm afraid it's not much. Old Zhang showed a bitter smile. As a man, he naturally understood what Shenheng's words meant just now. Moreover, those words were directed at Bai Shuan. Oh my God, although my wife and I say those things to get stimulated, I don't really intend to push my wife to someone else. Shenheng walked out to the corridor, looked at his watch. It was already 4 in the afternoon. Winter had suddenly arrived, the night was long, and the sky had turned dim. Walking to the underground passage, he could still see many people surrounding Gui Yupeng not far away, wanting to buy supplies. However, Gui Yupeng was still selling in an orderly manner, while also adding other people's WeChat. In the year 2088, the infrastructure of the Dragon Kingdom was relatively complete. Power cables and wires were all buried underground. High-rise buildings stood close together, and each roof was equipped with signal towers to ensure everyone could communicate with each other. In his previous life, even when he died, the world still had a signal network. Only in some areas, the snow was too thick, affecting the signal transmission, causing local network problems. Plus, with no one to repair it, after a period of time, the signal throughout the world gradually became slow until it was completely interrupted. As for the power outage, it was caused by the appearance of the ability fruit 15 days after the apocalypse. People fought over a single ability fruit, and among them were many who already possessed abilities. Ability users could no longer be described as human. A single move from them could cause immense destruction. The underground cable system was thus disrupted, causing a power outage. After the power outage, even ability users had difficulty living, let alone ordinary people. The number of humans who survived for more than half a month was once again sharply reduced. Ability fruits. Shenheng shook his head, not knowing how these things appeared. Moreover, the appearance of the ability fruit really caused heavy casualties to humanity. In the apocalypse, there was no social order left. Humanity could only slaughter each other for their own benefit. Right. He suddenly remembered someone from his previous life saying that an ability fruit had also grown in the underground passage, right near the entrance of Building 16. Shenheng hurriedly walked over. Arriving at the door of Building 16, he carefully observed for a moment and only then discovered a small green blade of grass in the crack of the stairs. In such cold weather, the vitality of this small blade of grass was truly tenacious. It hadn't frozen to death. It was just a small blade of grass the length of a little finger, but it was still growing resiliently. Can this thing bear an ability fruit? Shenheng was a little skeptical. But besides this place, he didn't see any other greenery. It's not like an ability fruit could just pop out of a rock, right? It's not the stone monkey. Just then, Zhao Weilong walked out of the building. Seeing Shenheng, he was stunned for a moment, then came over with a smile to greet him. Big brother. Shenheng nodded. Big brother, are you here to see sister-in-law? Zhao Weilong approached. I've already added sister-in-law on WeChat. Don't worry, I have no intention of disturbing her. I just told her to let me know immediately if she encounters any danger. So far, sister-in-law hasn't given any other instructions. I also often keep an eye on the staircase door. Nothing unusual. Fearing Shun Hung wouldn't believe him, he even took out his mobile phone to show Shun Hung their conversation. Shun Hung nodded again, his eyes still fixed on the small blade of grass. A blade of grass this small, can it grow a large ability fruit? Although an ability fruit is only the size of a strawberry, for this tiny blade of grass, it would be an unbearable burden of life. What's wrong? Zhao Weilong saw that Shun Hung wasn't responding to him and curiously approached, looking at the small blade of grass. In such cold weather, how do you think it can still survive? Shun Hung asked. This really hit Zhao Weilong's knowledge blind spot. He scratched his head, probably because there's no snow in the underground passage. Shun Hung was stunned. So that's how it is. The plants outside were covered in snow, and after the ability fruit appeared, they would all mutate instead of bearing ability fruits. The golden pothose he bought for his home also bore an ability fruit because it was kept indoors and not exposed to the snow. This point seemed to have been overlooked by those people. He took a deep breath and looked at Zhao Weilong with a serious expression. This guy is truly my lucky star. From now on, pay more attention to the plants in the room. All right, are those subordinates of yours still reliable? Hearing Shun Hung say this, Zhao Weilong's face turned red. Yesterday, it was those subordinates who caused trouble and got him beaten. They're barely reliable. They usually follow me, but you were too violent yesterday, which scared them. Zhao Weilong said embarrassedly. Then secretly gather some more subordinates. I'll provide the supplies. You have to recruit all of them, Shun Hung said, narrowing his eyes. I don't require absolute loyalty, but if there are supplies, they will definitely take refuge with you. Have them contribute all the green plants in their homes. Also, secretly collect green plants from other families. You can trade supplies for them. Zhao Weilong nodded hurriedly. He didn't know what Shun Hung wanted the green plants for, but since his big brother had given the order, he didn't dare to question it. On the contrary, he only knew one thing. Following his big brother meant he would have food to eat. That was enough. Shun Hung also wanted to see, when the day came that the green plants he had collected from the homeowners' houses started bearing ability fruits, just how many ability fruits they could bring him. In this kind of weather, no one has anything to eat. Trading food for green plants. Only an idiot would refuse. Green plants can't be eaten anyway. Then go find Guo Yupeng, the young man selling supplies over there. Shun Hung pointed into the distance and said, just say your brother Shin's man, and he'll give you some supplies. He didn't have much food left on him right now. If he wanted to cultivate Zhao Weilong as a subordinate, he naturally had to make him loyal. I'll make you something else to eat tomorrow. Today, there's only instant noodles and bread. You can make do with that for now. Shun Hung patted Zhao Weilong's shoulder. He's also my subordinate. After you find your brothers, have them secretly protect Guo Yupeng as well. Don't let anything happen to him. Brother Shun, don't worry. Zhao Weilong was moved to tears, nodding repeatedly. If it weren't for his pride, he would have willingly acknowledged him as his godfather. Looking at Brother Shin's way of doing things, he really treats me well. Brother Shin, aren't you going up to see sister-in-law? Shun Hung hesitated for a moment. To be honest, he really wanted to see Little Sand. However, before he went out just now, he had just had a big battle with Huo Miao. Now he was a bit willing but lacked the strength. You should just protect her secretly. I have other things to do. Shun Hung waved his hand. Brother Shun, take care. Zhao Weilong respectfully watched as Shun Hung rode the dilapidated bicycle away. Only then did he take out his mobile phone and start contacting his subordinates. Z, come out quickly. Time to work. Crabhead, come downstairs now. Right? I remember you have a few pots of green plants at home. Right? Bring them all here. Xiaolu, go ask the household across the hall. I remember they have a rubber tree that's half a person tall. Right? Ask him if he'll trade it for a bag of instant noodles. Zhao Weilong had everything arranged in an orderly manner. At the same time, Huo Miao added Yang Jinxian on WeChat. Yang Jinxian saw the contact card recommended by Shun Hung and didn't think much of it, directly accepting the friend request. She glanced at the other person's friend list. Oh, it seems to be that girlfriend of Shin Hang's. Why is she adding me? Out of politeness, Yang Jinxian took the initiative to send a WeChat message. Hello, is something the matter? After waiting for a while, Huamiao replied. Yang Jinxian glanced at the other person's WeChat message and was completely stunned. Are you willing to be my husband's girlfriend along with your sister? I recognize all these words, but when they're put together in a sentence, I'm a little confused. Su Chao and Feng Lu were huddled at home. They had also started to learn from their neighbors, lighting a fire in the house for warmth. It was really too cold. Moreover, as night began to fall, the cold air descended directly from the sky. Even hiding at home, wrapped in a blanket, they still felt their whole bodies shivering. At night, all the houses in the entire community were lit up with firelight, as if the whole community was on fire. Feng Lu warmed herself by the fire, feeling the icy coldness in her body slowly dissipate. Her body seemed to sober up as well. She exhaled and turned to ask Su Chao, has Huamiao contacted Shinheng yet? It's already dark. If we haven't gained Shinheng's trust, I'm afraid we'll have to endure another freezing night in this room. She thought of the image in the video again. Shinheng was wearing a very thin pajama set. She really couldn't imagine how warm Shinheng's house must be. More importantly, he was even eating pan-fried dumplings, drinking hot wonton soup, and luxuriously eating lobster early in the morning. Remembering that image, Feng Lu felt her mouth watering uncontrollably. Why don't you ask Huamiao again? Feng Lu asked. If it stays this cold, I'm going to get arthritis. All right. Su Chao nodded, picked up his mobile phone, and sent a message to Huamiao. He glanced at Feng Lu, a hint of disgust rising in his heart. Although Feng Lu was not at fault, her personality was too extreme. She had no brains at all. Just now, over the matter of the female skier at the university, she even argued with me. I had to move her with emotion and reason with her. It was so hard to coax her. For now, you're still of some use. After I get to Shinheng's house and kill him, I'll definitely kick you out. With Shinheng's refrigerator full of supplies, why would I be afraid of not finding a better woman? After messaging Huamiao, he glanced at the homeowners group. Inside, some women were already posting their sexy photos, hoping to trade them for a bite to eat. Willing to trade, you know what I mean. There was a photo of a woman that made Su Chao's heart itch. He even secretly added the other person on WeChat. After he dealt with Shinheng, he would contact this girl again. But for now, Su Chao still needed Feng Lu's help to catch Shinheng. Feng Lu was also an indispensable link. They had discussed it carefully. When they met Shinheng, Feng Lu would definitely take the initiative to admit her mistake and then bring up their beautiful memories from the past. Shinheng would definitely let them into the house. At night, Feng Lu would take the initiative to seduce him again. Shinheng had been holding back for several days, so he naturally wouldn't be able to resist. At the crucial moment for the two of them, Feng Lu would deliberately cry out loudly. This was the signal they had agreed on. Su Chao would take the opportunity to rush in and kill Shinheng. After Huamiao messaged Yang Jinxian, she didn't receive a reply for a while. What's going on? Did I not explain it clearly enough? She was about to continue messaging Yang Jinxian when there was a knock on the door. Glancing at the surveillance monitor, she found it was Shinheng. Huamiao's face lit up with a brilliant smile. She quickly opened the door, then threw herself into Shinheng's arms. Let me take off my coat first. Shinheng waved his hand. First, go to the bathroom and wash your hands thoroughly. Change into your pajamas. Then he went to another room and sat in his usual spot. Huamiao snuggled into his arms. Honey, what do you want for dinner? I'll go prepare it now. While at home, she had been learning how to cook from online tutorials. Now she could be considered a decent little chef. Anything is fine. Shinheng held Huamiao, feeling his body relax again, and kissed her on the forehead. Huamiao smiled and was about to kiss back when her mobile phone suddenly rang. Who's sending you a WeChat message? Shinheng asked. I don't know either, Huamiao answered a little unnaturally, then turned and went into the kitchen to get busy. She thought it was a message from Yang Jinxian and was afraid Shinheng would see it. If my husband saw me arranging to get him a concubine on my own, would he blame me for taking matters into my own hands? Probably not, right? Don't all men like sensible girls like me? Fortunately, Shinheng was already sitting on the sofa, engrossed in his phone. Huamiao quietly picked up her phone and glanced at it. It was a message from Su Chao. Huamiao, have you contacted Shinheng yet? Does he trust us now? My friend is ready to set off. After all, It's not easy to travel at night in this cold weather. Once you've made contact, I'll have her go pick you up. Right. I told her you're my cousin. Remember not to blow it. We have to work together to survive, don't we? Hua Miao sneered. This guy is really impatient. If it were up to me, I wouldn't even bother with these two dogs. But if Shunheng wants to watch a show, I will definitely cooperate obediently. Hua Miao sighed in relief and asked Shunheng, Su Chao is asking me. How should I reply? Just say you've confirmed with me. Let's see what he does next. Shunheng also leaned in, saying with interest. Hua Miao replied with a sound, then picked up her phone to reply. I've contacted him. He believes that Feng Lu and I are together. Now, can you have that dear little skier sister of yours come pick me up? Su Chao was still waiting anxiously. After receiving Hua Miao's message, his face lit up. She's contacted Shunheng. Su Chao turned his head, said a word to Feng Lu, and then hurriedly sent a voice message to Hua Miao. Her name is Lu Chen 11. You absolutely must not reveal our relationship to her. Otherwise, when she arrives, if she drives you away, don't blame me. I'll contact her right now and have her go pick you up. After listening to Su Chao's voice message, Hua Miao relayed his words to her colleague, Feng Ling, at the company. Ling Ling, her name is Lu Chen 11. She'll be there to pick you up soon. Remember, you must say you're Hua Miao, Su Chao's cousin, so she'll take you. Understand? Miao Miao, I'll remember. Feng Ling was ecstatic, repeatedly promising. As long as I can leave this company, it's all good. Here, even my own life isn't guaranteed. Moreover, I'm still wearing these thin summer clothes. I could really freeze to death. The neighboring companies have already started to completely give up. I heard them say they want to have one last hurrah before they die. Hearing these sounds occasionally, many of the male colleagues in the company have started looking at the female colleagues with more suggestive gazes. It's only because Wang Qingguang is still ordering everyone to move desks to maintain the bonfire that these people haven't dared to make a move. It's truly terrifying. Feng Ling secretly sighed in relief. However, at this moment, Wang Qingguang's voice suddenly came from beside her ear. Ling Ling. Who are you talking to? You seem so happy. Feng Ling was scared out of her wits and quickly stuffed her phone into her pocket. She said unnaturally, No one. Just chatting with a good friend. President Wang. How could I be happy? Trapped in this place, with the snow still falling outside, I don't even have time to cry. Wang Qingguang didn't say anything, just chuckled twice, then turned his head. Combined with the fact that Feng Ling had made a phone call in the corridor earlier, he was certain that Feng Ling had found someone to pick her up. With the snow so thick, how could the other party get here? Wang Qingguang couldn't figure it out. However, as long as someone comes, can't I just snatch their means of transportation? Hua Miao was busy in the kitchen. Soon, the aroma of food filled the air. Shunheng sat on the sofa, chatting with Gui Yupeng on his phone. The beautiful and gentle woman was cooking in the kitchen, while he was like a leader, arranging work for his subordinates. This kind of life, Shunheng had never even dared to dream of. He was even a little grateful for the apocalypse. If it weren't for the ice and snow apocalypse, he would still be a miserable simp, typing away every day. Gui Yupeng reported that he had sold quite a few supplies in the afternoon. However, Zhao Weilong came to him later, so he shared a lot of food with him. Since they all worked for the same boss, he naturally couldn't ask for money. Shunheng reassured Gui Yupeng and was very satisfied with his actions. At the same time, he said that tomorrow's supplies would also be given to Gui Yupeng to sell. He didn't even need Gui Yupeng to pay up front. He just needed to transfer the money back to him after the work was done. Faced with Brother Shin's trust, Gui Yupeng was very grateful and quickly promised that he would be absolutely loyal and would not secretly pocket a single penny from his big brother. A guarantee? In the apocalypse, who would believe such empty promises? Shunheng naturally wouldn't easily believe how loyal Gui Yupeng would be to him. He directly sent a WeChat message to Zhao Weilong, instructing him to send 2 clever subordinates to Gui Yupeng's place tomorrow. On the surface, they would pretend to buy supplies from Gui Yupeng, but in reality, they had to secretly monitor him. Zhao Weilong immediately indicated that he understood. And at this moment, a video call from Su Chao came in. Hello. Shunheng lazily answered the call. Brother, has Hua Miao called you yet? Su Chao smiled stiffly. She was in the bathroom just now. I told her to use her phone to call you. Now you believe me, right? Of course. Shunheng nodded. After all, We're brothers. You guys would absolutely not do something so despicable, worse than beasts, right? Su Chao's smile was a bit stiff. If you really did that, then you'll definitely give birth to a son without an anus, his whole body covered in festering sores, the soles of his feet growing scabies, and your whole family will not die a good death. Su Chao's face turned pale, trying his best to maintain a smile. I really shouldn't have suspected you two. I was just being too paranoid. Shin Hung shook his head and sighed. Let's not talk about this. Su Chao took a deep breath. The furniture in my house is almost all burned. Why won't you let us come over? We're going to freeze to death. That's right, that's right. Feng Lu also leaned into the phone screen, looking aggrieved. Shin Hung, how can you not feel sorry for me? I can't take it anymore. What does that have to do with me? Shin Hung was stunned. Feng Lu was also stunned. Huh? What do you mean? We've already broken up, Shin Hung said with a grin. Seeing you're not doing well now, I can rest assured. Sorry, I have to eat first. Bye-bye. He directly hung up the phone. Dinner's ready, honey. Hua Miao heard Shin Hung hang up and only then spoke up. Looking up, the table was already neatly set with several dishes. Sweet and sour pork ribs, minced meat, mapo tofu, hand-torn mixed vegetables, 2 meat, 2 vegetarian, and also a hot pumpkin soup with whole wheat bread. The aroma was overwhelming. Shin Hung took a sip of the porridge, feeling his stomach warm up and become comfortable. He then took a bite of 2 dishes and nodded repeatedly. Meow meow, your cooking has improved so much. To make so many rich dishes in such a short time. The sweet and sour pork ribs, I started preparing them after you went to work in the afternoon. The minced meat was also marinated beforehand. So, I did spend quite a bit of time cooking, Hua Miao said with a smile. As long as my husband likes it. To keep a man's heart, you must first conquer his stomach. Although I've never cooked before, I feel like I have a talent for it now. I haven't made any terrible dishes at all. On the contrary, every dish, from its appearance to its taste, is quite good. Shin Hing ate with satisfaction. He then gave some suggestions, and Hua Miao tried to remember them to improve next time. I'll cook according to my husband's taste. On the other side, Feng Lu was so angry from being hung up on that she was trembling all over. If Shin Hung were right in front of her, she would have directly scratched his face to pieces and torn his mouth apart. I can't believe he was just playing with me all this time. Calm down. Su Chao frowned and reminded Feng Lu. What else can I do? Feng Lu took 2 deep breaths. The surrounding cold air also made her calm down instantly. But the hatred in her eyes could not be extinguished. Calm down a bit. At worst, we'll just call him again, Su Chao said sternly. Try to admit your mistake. He's been simping for you for several years. How could he not have any feelings for you? He must still be angry. Besides, if we want to survive now, we really have to rely on him. If you piss him off and we can't contact him later, what will we do? Spend another night in this ice room. Feng Lu saw through it all. She didn't want to continue suffering here. This damn place was really not for humans. Just now, she even saw Shin Hung wearing a thin pajama set, a short-sleeved one at that. Is the place he's staying at that good? I'll call him again. I'll lower myself and admit my mistake. I'll definitely coax him well, so he's not angry anymore, and he'll let us over. Feng Lu looked determined. Even if she had to kneel and beg him, she could do it. However, Shin Hung, you can be arrogant for now. You think you can give me a hard time? When I get into bed with you, you're dead. She dialed Shin Hing's video call for the second time. The mobile phone on the table rang. Shin Hing picked it up and glanced at it, then burst out laughing. It was Su Chao calling again. Shin Hung shushed Hua Miao, then answered the call. Hua Miao proactively sat close to Shin Hing's side so she wouldn't appear on the screen, then pulled Shin Hing's left hand and placed it on her thigh. Shin Hung glanced at Hua Miao in surprise, finding her looking at him with a suggestive, flirtatious gaze. This little minx, she knows how to play games too. He also found that while he was on a video call with Su Chao, her doing this to him was really exciting. Shin Hung. Inside the video, Feng Lu's coquettish voice came through. Shin Hung withdrew his gaze and said indifferently, "What else is there? I admit, it was all my fault before. I shouldn't have been angry with you. Are you really willing to break up with me?" Feng Lu pouted. "Matsugu, if I keep waiting in this room, I'll really freeze to death. Can you bear to watch me die? Then what do you want?" Shin Hung shook his head, picked up a piece of sweet and sour pork rib, and put it in his mouth. The meat was tender and fragrant, juicy, and easily separated from the bone. With a flick of his tongue, the small rib slipped down and was neatly spat out onto the table. He's still casually eating ribs? Feng Lu stared at Shun Hung spitting out the bone, desperately swallowing her saliva. She really couldn't imagine that Shun Hung was eating so well. Su Chao on the side also pursed his lips tightly, almost going crazy with jealousy. Slurp. Shun Hung deliberately took a sip of porridge, then smacked his lips and looked at the video. You were the one who wanted to break up with me. It was pouring rain, and I went out alone to buy things. You didn't even bother to ask about me. Even when the heavy snow came and fell for 3 whole days, you only sent me a video. In your heart, do you still see me as your boyfriend? Yes, of course I do. Feng Lu's face was full of pleading. I really know I was wrong. Can you give me a chance? Do you really have to make me kneel and beg you? Shun Hung chuckled, his face full of doubt. All right then. Feng Lu lowered her head, her teeth chattering, but in the end, she still knelt before the phone screen. I'm kneeling now, Shun Hung. Look at me. I really know I was wrong. We've been together for 3 years. I admit, my personality isn't good, and you've always been tolerant of me. But I really regret it now. Please, for the sake of our long relationship, can't you forgive me? I'm begging you. A few days ago, I found that I kept feeling nauseous, and my period hasn't come yet. Maybe I'm pregnant with your child now. How can you be so cruel as to let me, a pregnant woman, continue to suffer in this weather? I'm carrying your flesh and blood. Even if you don't feel sorry for me, even if you hate me, I'm carrying your child in my womb. The child is innocent. Are you really willing to let it freeze to death with me, its mother? In order to survive, she had made it up, and the more she said, the smoother it became, her eyes welling with tears, as if it were real. Really? Shun Hung, who had been calm, suddenly changed his expression. How long has it been since your period? Haven't you checked? I haven't yet. I was going to surprise you on your birthday. Feng Lu, with her disheveled hair, stammered. I just didn't expect. Feng Lu, I can pick you up, but this is for the baby. After a long while, Shun Hung sighed, then picked up a chopstick full of minced meat and put it in his mouth, chewing slowly. He seemed to be organizing his words. Feng Lu and Su Chao, without prior agreement, both stared at Shun Hang's mouth, as if they could smell the aroma of the minced meat through the screen. But I don't have many supplies. Shun Hung lowered his voice and asked tentatively. Su Chao, is he still with you? Feng Lu was stunned. Su Chao, standing beside her, repeatedly waved his hands to signal her. No, he's not here. Feng Lu understood Shun Hang's meaning. My supplies, at most, are only enough for the 2 of us for half a month. I predict that in about half a month, the snow will definitely stop. Then I'll go find more food to support you and the baby. Shun Hang's right hand tapped on the table, but his left hand was still lightly stroking Huo Miao's thigh, his face serious. But you know Su Chao's appetite. If he comes too, Huo Miao will definitely have to have a share, right? Then this food of mine, at most, will only be enough for 4 people for a week. When that time comes, what will we eat? Air. I can starve, but the baby in your belly can't. Shun Hung looked distressed. So, you'd better leave Su Chao. For your life, for the child, I can only take you alone. This. Feng Lu didn't expect Shun Hung to make such a suggestion. And on the side, Su Chao was also furious, his face ugly. Why don't we just let them come too? After all, Su Chao took care of me for 3 days, Feng Lu timidly suggested. No way. Shun Hung flatly refused. Su Chao eats like a pig. He alone can eat as much as the 2 of us. And then there's Huo Miao. She has a big appetite too. Huo Miao, seeing Shun Hung teasing her, pinched his waist hard with her small hand. Shun Hung turned his head and saw Huo Miao pouting, looking at him with a mischievous smile. He couldn't help but smile too, his left hand reaching deeper. Huo Miao's eyes widened, looking at Shun Hung in disbelief. Her face turned beet red, and she desperately covered her mouth. Still want to fight me? Shun Hung smiled, his left hand teasing her relentlessly. Huo Miao went limp on the chair, her hands covering her mouth, afraid of making a sound. However, Feng Lu didn't notice Shun Hang's gaze or actions at all. She was pondering his words. Her heart was even a little swayed. Looking at Shun Hang's 2 meals, they were truly too rich. And the room was so warm. Isn't this pure enjoyment? It was so hard to get Shun Hung to trust me. Should I seize this opportunity? This Su Chao guy is no good either. He tricked me into bed. I thought I was his true love, but today I found out he has another skier sister on the side. A cheater will cheat countless times. Who knows how many other girls Su Chao has that I don't know about, like an ice sister, a beer sister, or a net cafe sister. While thinking these things, Feng Lu had completely absolved herself of her own faults, completely forgetting that she had also cheated on and betrayed Shen Hong. Let me think about it, Feng Lu said in a low voice. You have to make a decision quickly. Don't let anything happen to the baby, Shen Hong said seriously. After you've thought it through, sneak away from Su Chao and contact me quietly. Feng Lu nodded. Then I'm hanging up. I haven't had dinner yet. Shen Hong picked up a piece of mapo tofu with his chopsticks, smacked his lips, and looked like he was enjoying it. You, save some for me. I'm starving. I'll contact you after I've eaten, Feng Lu said hurriedly. But before she could finish her sentence, Su Chao had already reached out and ended the video call. What are you doing? Feng Lu was furious, glaring at Su Chao. What do you think? Su Chao retorted unwillingly. If I hadn't hung up, were you planning on telling Shen Hong our entire plan? Look at your pathetic state. Feng Lu's knees ached from kneeling. She stood up and said angrily, Su Chao, I followed your plan and apologized to Shen Hong repeatedly, even kneeling and begging him. And now, seeing that Shen Hong has forgiven me but won't let you into his house, you're getting anxious? You're just throwing a tantrum. Slap? Before she could finish, Su Chao slapped her hard across the face. Feng Lu staggered, covering her face as she looked up at him, her eyes filled with disbelief. You hit me? Su Chao, with a gloomy face, spoke coldly. Can you use your brain? Shen Hong is obviously trying to drive a wedge between us. And you're still fantasizing that he'll take you in? We're like grasshoppers on the same rope now. Only by working together and taking over Shen Hong's house can we survive. I'm warning you. Don't have those kinds of fantasies. If you dare to abandon me, I'll tell Shen Hong everything about us. I'd like to see if Shen Hong still wants you, you worn-out shoe, after you've slept with me. Will he still be so devoted to you? Feng Lu was stunned, narrowing her eyes as she stared at Su Chao. That's right. The two of them were a single entity now. If Shen Hong knew about her and Su Chao, he would definitely not forgive her. What she didn't expect even more was that Su Chao would dare to slap her. Su Chao, this is the first time you've hit me. Before, you couldn't even bear to scold me, she said softly. Su Chao sighed and took the initiative to pull Feng Lu into his arms, gently coaxing her. I was just afraid you'd abandon me. I'm sorry. Does it still hurt? We're the ones who are truly in love. I was afraid you'd be deceived by Shen Hong. It was a moment of anger. Don't worry, I definitely won't do it again. I was just jealous. In his eyes, however, a look of disgust flashed. If Feng Lu wasn't still useful, he would have beaten her to death right then and there. This woman is more of a hindrance than a help. All boobs, no brain. How could you do that to me, Sob? Feng Lu cried aggrievedly in Su Chao's arms. Her face was pressed against his neck, and a flash of hatred appeared in her eyes. Su Chao, you dare to hit me now, and you're secretly seeing other women behind my back. A philandering man is completely unreliable. But for now, I can't escape him. I'll just deal with it for the time being. When we get into Shen Hong's house, I'll tell Shen Hong his whole plan, then team up with Shen Hong to take him down. I want to cut out his tongue immediately, lest he says something stupid. Although the two of them were hugging tightly, each had their own agenda. As night deepened, after Shen Hong finished his meal, he poured spring water into the Riga water heater and took a mandarin duck bath with Hua Miao. At the same time, Feng Lu and Su Chao finally reached an agreement. The two of them ultimately couldn't abandon each other. If one of them tried to contact Shen Hong alone, the other would expose them to him. While they were bathing, the phone kept ringing. Shen Hong naturally didn't hear it. He was still happily enjoying himself with Hua Miao in the massage bathtub. After the bath, the two of them lay on the bed together. The phone rang again. This time, it was a WeChat video call from Feng Lu. Shen Hong smiled. This woman couldn't hold back tonight. Feng Lu had been spoiled since she was a child and couldn't stand any hardship. She couldn't wait to move in immediately. Unfortunately, I'm not a scrapyard. I don't want just any piece of trash. Holding the fragrant, beautiful, and hot-bodied Hua Miao, how could he possibly be interested in a worn-out shoe like Feng Lu? The system upgrade countdown had less than 5 hours left. In another 5 hours, I'll be able to use 1,000,000 to buy an ability fruit in advance. By then, I won't have to be so cautious anymore. I wonder what kind of ability the vending machine's ability fruit will give me. The phone was still ringing incessantly. Shenheng came to his senses and answered the video call. Shenheng, what are you doing? Why didn't you answer my call for so long? The other side was pitch black. It was impossible to tell where Feng Lu was. She pouted coquettishly. However, thanks to another mobile phone monitoring them, Shenheng could clearly see that Feng Lu was on the bed in Su Chao's bedroom, wrapped in a blanket and shivering. And Su Chao was sitting opposite her, staring at her. I just took a shower. What's up? Have you decided? Shenheng naturally knew that these two couldn't abandon each other and deliberately asked. A shower. Feng Lu was stunned. But looking at Shenheng in the video, his hair was wet and his bare arms were exposed. He obviously wasn't lying. Looking at herself again, she hadn't showered in days. Her hair was greasy, and she looked like a beggar. In this cold weather, the water had long since frozen. Not a single drop of water came out. Even drinking water was a problem, yet Shenheng could still take a shower. She couldn't imagine how warm Shenheng's house must be. Su Chao also realized this point, his eyes full of shock. I have a lot of spring water stored at home. Although the water pipes are frozen, I can pour the spring water into the water heater and still manage to take a shower. Shenheng shrugged. A bottle of spring water is only 1 yuan. Although the massage bathtub is very large and it takes more than 10 barrels of spring water to fill it, the price is too good. The cost of one shower is only about 400 or 500 yuan. Now, Shenheng sells a bag of instant noodles for 2,000. After deducting the cost of the shower, he can still make a net profit of more than 1,000. It's all profit, so he doesn't feel bad at all. Bathing with spring water? Feng Lu's lips trembled. That's too wasteful, too extravagant. Outside, people had to spend 2,000 to buy a bottle of spring water, but Shenheng was using spring water to bathe. It was simply the height of luxury. Now that it's been discovered that the snow outside contains a virus and is undrinkable, the price of these bottles of spring water has skyrocketed. Some people who couldn't buy supplies have secretly agreed to spend 3,000 to buy a bottle of water. And Shenheng is using spring water to bathe. If you're willing to come over, you can take a shower here too. Feng Lu, I see your hair is greasy. You probably haven't washed it in a few days, right? You must be very uncomfortable, Shenheng said with a pained expression. Hearing him say this, Feng Lu felt her whole body itch uncomfortably. She was just about to speak when she suddenly noticed Su Chao's displeased gaze from across her. She quickly regained her composure and said softly, Shenheng, I'm in the corridor now. Su Chao is in the bathroom. I want to come find you right now. I'll be very quiet, he won't find out. Are you willing to come pick me up? But you just took a shower, you'll catch a cold if you go out. Why don't you tell me your specific address, and I'll come find you. Shenheng nodded. That's true. Then you can come over now. I'm in the row villas. Row villas? Feng Lu's eyes lit up. Which row, which number? Su Chao also held his breath, listening intently. As long as they knew Shenheng's address, could he still escape? Moreover, the row villas and their high-rise apartment building had an underground passage between them, making it easy to get through. She was still rejoicing in her heart. Thanks to Shenheng being in the row villas. If he were in the villas behind, in this devastatingly cold blizzard, they would have frozen to death in the snow before they even got there. Row 2. Shenheng paused, then suddenly frowned and asked, You're not colluding with Su Chao to secretly harm me, are you? Row 2, which number? Just tell me. Feng Lu was anxious, but she looked around, then lowered her voice and said, How could that be? You're my boyfriend. I definitely love you the most. I wouldn't lie to you. Tell me, which number in row 2? Oh, my phone is out of battery. I forgot to charge it. It's about to die. Shenheng looked at his phone screen, his face full of apology. Wait for me to charge it for a while. Otherwise, it could die at any moment. After he finished speaking, he quickly ended the video call. By being ambiguous like this, he could make people do what he wanted. He just wanted to lead them by the nose. He really wanted to see if Feng Lu would actually come here with Su Chao. After all, he had installed small surveillance cameras near the villa. As the temperature dropped at night, he didn't know if these two could brave the cold and come out. He would tease them for a bit first, Make them suffer the torment of the blizzard, and then let them die. That way, the hatred in Shunhang's heart would be released. Honey, what other scheme are you up to? Huo Miao snuggled into Shunhang's chest. She had just finished making love, and her face was rosy, looking even more beautiful. You just said row 2. I thought you were really going to tell her our specific location. What, are you jealous? Shunheng replied with a laugh. Don't worry, a woman like that, I definitely won't linger on her, nor will I get back together with her. Then what kind of woman would make you devoted? Huo Miao complained silently in her heart, staring at Shunheng's neck. Today, she really didn't find any woman's hair on Shunheng, but the sense of crisis in her heart had not diminished at all. Right, go urge Su Chao a bit. Make them feel a little more anxious, Shunheng whispered to Huo Miao. Huo Miao nodded and did as Shunheng instructed, taking out her mobile phone. These past few days, she had been at home, scrolling through videos, cooking, and cleaning the house every day. Although being with Shunheng was warm and happy, she couldn't help but feel bored. Now, accompanying Shunheng, she felt the joy of watching a good show. She sent a message to Su Chao, telling him to quickly contact his skier sister to pick her up. In the last message, she even threatened Su Chao that if his skier sister didn't come to pick her up tonight, she would contact Shunheng and tell him everything. Su Chao, now eager to get into Shunheng's house, naturally didn't hesitate and immediately did as she said. He pestered his skier sister for a while, then told her to go pick up Huo Miao. The skier sister, whose name was Lu Chen11, although very reluctant in her heart, still put on thick, warm clothes and went downstairs with her ski equipment because of her deep love for Su Chao. She didn't know what she was thinking. To go downstairs in the middle of a snowy, windy night to pick up Su Chao's cousin. Oh well, Su Chao had just promised her that after this snowstorm stopped, he would pick her up and take her to his house to live happily together. Thinking of this, Lu Chen11 no longer felt the cold of the wind and snow outside. Instead, her heart was filled with warmth and excitement. She was a provincial-level ski team athlete and also a longtime player in this sport. Every time after ski training, she would go to a bar to relax, and it was inevitable that she would go a little further with some men she found pleasing to the eye. It wasn't until she met Su Chao that Lu Chen11 truly fell in love. This matter of feelings is very hard to explain. Although Lu Chen11 and Su Chao only had a one-night stand, she had completely fallen for him. Moreover, Su Chao was handsome and had a good job. When he was with her, he was always gentle and considerate, unlike other men who just treated her as a toy to be trifled with. Lu Chen11 wanted to hold on to him. Once, when she was on a date with Su Chao, while he was taking a shower, she secretly used a needle to poke a hole in the condom, and then she successfully got pregnant. After telling Su Chao this news, Su Chao looked troubled and coaxed her for a long time, saying that he was in a crucial period of his career and would soon be promoted. At this critical moment, he didn't want to be tied down by other things and affect his future. Under Su Chao's sweet words, Lu Chen11 finally agreed to have an abortion. But Su Chao also promised that as long as he had a stable job and was promoted to a leadership position, he would hold a wedding with her. Now, as long as I pick up his cousin, I won't have to wait for his promotion. We'll get married as soon as the snow stops. Lu Chen11 was overjoyed. After all, she would have to meet his family sooner or later. This time, picking up Su Chao's cousin is a good opportunity to build a good relationship. As the future sister-in-law, I have to leave a good impression on my future cousin-in-law. The snow was getting heavier and heavier. Lu Chen11 shrank her neck, skillfully changed her snowboard, and then jumped onto the snow. She quickly skied towards Huo Miao's company. Huo Miao's company was not too far from Lu Chen11's home, only about a kilometer. But in this harsh weather, there was not a single person outside. Not everyone was a professional skier like Lu Chen11, and not everyone had professional ski equipment. The night was pitch black. Fortunately, the street lights were still working normally, illuminating the vast, empty street ahead. Besides the howling of the cold wind, there was no other sound. To be honest, Lu Chen11 was also very scared in her heart. After all, she was a girl. But thinking of Su Chao's promise, she immediately gained more courage. After receiving Huo Miao's call, Fang Ling's weary eyes couldn't hide her surprise and joy. Tonight, I can finally leave the company. Huo Miao is such a good person. She remembered every word of Huo Miao's instructions. After meeting the girl named Lu Chen11, she had to tell her that her name was Huo Miao, and that Su Chao was her older brother. She was a little curious. Isn't Su Chao Huo Miao's boyfriend? How did he become her brother? However, she didn't dare to ask about this point of doubt. Huo Miao told me to say it, so I'll just say it. She took the initiative to come and save me. If I'm too talkative, will Huo Miao change her mind? No matter how important gossip is, it's not as important as my own life. In the office, the bonfire was burning brightly. Many colleagues were already asleep around the fire. According to Wang Qingguang's instructions, someone needed to be on night watch every night, mainly to watch the fire and make sure it didn't go out. Otherwise, everyone would die. Originally, Fong Ling didn't need to be on watch tonight, but she took the initiative to switch shifts with a female colleague. She switched her phone's ringer to vibrate. That way, as long as Lu Chen11 arrived downstairs, she wouldn't disturb her colleagues. She glanced around. I'm sorry, my dear colleagues. What can I do? Who told me I have the best relationship with Huo Miao? I'm leaving. She knew very well that the company's desks were almost all burned, and the remaining ones wouldn't last for more than a few days. More importantly, the company had no food or drink left. Continuing to wait here would only lead to starvation. Since there was a chance to leave, she had to seize it without hesitation. Not far away, Wang Qingguang was leaning against the wall with his eyes closed, seemingly asleep. He narrowed his eyes, secretly observing Fong Ling. From the moment Fong Ling offered to take the night watch, he knew that someone would definitely come to pick her up tonight. She wanted to leave quietly, which showed that the other party could probably only pick up a few people, or even just one. That's why Fong Ling couldn't make it public. But if it's possible to leave, then adding one more person, me, shouldn't be a problem, right? If the other party can only pick up one person, then why can't it be me? Wang Qingguang tried his best to stay awake. He had been hungry for more than 4 days and really couldn't take it anymore. However, at this moment, Fong Ling's mobile phone suddenly vibrated slightly. A call was coming in. Fong Ling became excited, quickly took out her mobile phone, and saw that it was an unknown number. She was even more surprised and overjoyed. This must be Lu Chen11 calling. She cautiously turned her head and glanced at the surrounding colleagues. Wang Qingguang was also fully awake. Seeing Fong Ling look over, he quickly closed his eyes and pretended to let out a weak snore. Good, everyone is asleep. Fong Ling's smile grew even wider. She tiptoed up and then walked towards the corridor. After Fong Ling left, Wang Qingguang also quickly followed, tiptoeing to the office door. He peeked his head out and saw Fong Ling walking towards the stairs while on the phone. Is that Sister Chen11? Yes, I'm Huo Miao. I'm currently on the 4th floor of the company. Where are you? On the 2nd floor? Wait for me. I'll come down and open the window. You even brought clothes for me. Thank you. You open the window. I'll come in first. You get dressed properly before coming out. After all, it's so cold outside. Lu Chen11 exhaled a cold breath, stopping by the 2nd floor window. After skiing so far, her face was frozen, and she was carrying a hiking bag. After such a long distance, she felt her whole body sweating. There were a lot of clothes in the bag. After all, Huo Miao was stuck at the company working overtime, so it was clear she was still wearing summer clothes. If she went out with me like this, wouldn't she freeze into an ice sculpture on the way? If Huo Miao really froze to death, Su Chao would definitely not forgive me. After answering the phone, Fong Ling went downstairs. But before that, she turned her head and glanced back at the office. Wang Qingguang quickly pulled his head back. Somewhat, Fong Ling was stunned. It seemed like she had just seen a figure. But when she came out just now, all her colleagues were asleep. She stood still, waited for a few more moments, but there was no one at the office door. I must have been seeing things. After being hungry for several days, it's normal to be dizzy. Hearing Huo Miao say that Lu Chen11's house had a lot of food stored up, I can finally have a full meal. She couldn't wait any longer and quickly ran down the stairs. Wang Qingguang, huddled in the office, let out a long sigh of relief. I didn't expect Fong Ling to be so vigilant. When Fong Ling turned her head just now, he almost didn't react in time. However, Fong Ling said on the phone just now that her name was Huo Miao. What does that have to do with Huo Miao? Thinking of this name, a trace of hatred flashed in Wang Qingguang's eyes. I lost a little finger, all because of Huo Miao's husband. Hearing footsteps coming from the stairs, Wang Qingguang knew that Fong Ling had gone downstairs. Why bother with so much? I'll just follow her down and see. He sneered, pulled a long stick from someone else's desk, held it firmly in his hand, and then silently stepped out of the office. Thank you for listening to the audio story on my channel. This is a product of xalosach.com. Thank you for joining us. I wish you moments of complete and meaningful enjoyment of the story. Damn it, which number in row 2 is it? Feng Lu and Su Chao's eyes were red. Shen Heng had only said half of it and didn't make it clear. You have to know, row 2 of the row villas has 20 villas. Are we supposed to go door to door tonight to check? If we don't die of exhaustion, we'll die of cold. Moreover, to get to the row villas, you can only go through the underground tunnel. And this tunnel leads directly to the basement of the row villas, and it's a 2-story basement at that. If Shen Heng was sleeping in the house, even if they shouted their lungs out, Shen Heng on the upper floor probably wouldn't hear them. Hurry up and answer the phone. Feng Lu's eyes were bloodshot as she called Shen Heng's video for the second time, but Shen Heng didn't answer. Damn it, is he still not done charging? She called Shen Heng again, but the phone reported that the other party was switched off. Feng Lu gritted her teeth, kicked the wall, then hugged her leg with both hands and squatted down with a pained expression. So damn painful. Looking at Su Chao, he was frowning at this moment, seemingly not paying any attention to her at all. The resentment in Feng Lu's heart grew even more. In the past, if I was hurt anywhere, Su Chao would have rushed over to ask with concern. But now, he didn't even pay a bit of attention to me. When I get into Shen Heng's house, I will definitely join forces with Shen Heng to kick you out. I don't even need to do anything. You'll freeze to death outside on your own. Do you think Shen Heng has discovered that we're tricking him, so he's deliberately toying with us? Su Chao suddenly spoke. Impossible. Feng Lu endured the pain and thought for a moment before saying affirmatively. With his intelligence, he would never discover my intentions. You know, in the past, I just had to act cute with him, and he would want to hold me in his arms. She even gave Su Chao a sidelong glance. Not like you. That's true. He probably wouldn't find out. After all, he didn't see me. And when we called Shen Heng just now, we were very careful to use your mobile phone. Su Chao nodded. But theoretically, when Shen Heng found his phone was dead just now, he should have immediately found a charger. Why is his phone still off now? How would I know? Feng Lu rolled her eyes. This bastard Su Chao didn't even try to coax me. He's so heartless. I've already given you a way out. If you're indifferent to me, then don't blame me for choosing Shen Heng and abandoning you. Wait for about 5 minutes, then try calling Shen Heng again. Su Chao instructed, I'm sleepy. I'm going to take a nap first. After saying that, he lay down on the bed. Feng Lu was furious. Fine. Let me keep contacting Shen Heng while you bastard, go to sleep? At night, who isn't tired? What are you sleeping for? Feng Lu roared. Su Chao opened his eyes with disgust. Then go to Shen Heng's house. The one facing him is me. Don't I need to rest and recuperate now? As a master player, he understood Feng Lu's hint just now, but he didn't want to coax her at all. I'm hungry and cold, and I still have to cater to your emotions? I'm not your dam. Besides, when I meet Shen Heng, I will definitely strike first and deliver a fatal blow to him. Then it will be Feng Lu. Theoretically speaking, my physique and weight are about the same as Shen Heng's. Once Shen Heng reacts, a fight between the two of us is likely to end in a stalemate. At this point, it will depend on Feng Lu. But how could Su Chao trust Feng Lu? Before, Feng Lu had already agreed to abandon him. Fate must be held in one's own hands. I have to deliver a fatal blow to Shen Heng. He curled up in the blanket, closed his eyes, but his brain was still working quickly. Feng Lu is not leaving now because she's afraid that once she leaves, I will tell Shen Heng about their secret relationship. In the end, both sides would be hurt. But after Feng Lu enters Shen Heng's house, who she chooses is her freedom. No matter who Feng Lu sides with, that person is very likely to win. Therefore, it's best to use a weapon to sneak attack Shen Heng to death. Then turn around and deal with Feng Lu. Su Chao and Feng Lu were on the same bed, one lying on his side, the other sitting on the edge of the bed. They were clearly passionately in love just 2 days ago, but now each had their own schemes. Wang Qingguang quietly went to the second floor. The faint sound of Fong Ling's phone from before had now become much clearer. Sister Chen 11, I'm on the second floor now. Where are you? Ah, I see you. Fong Ling saw a figure standing outside the window, and her eyes immediately lit up. She quickly ran over. The sound of high heels echoed in the corridor. Wang Qingguang, half kneeling, slowly approached. Bang! Fong Ling pulled open the window, and a gust of cold wind rushed in, making her shiver. But her heart was ecstatic. Finally, I'm saved. Sister, I'll help you. She proactively reached out her hand. No need. You open the window. It's too cold outside, Lu Chen11 instructed, then lightly jumped into the office. Wang Qingguang, hiding under a desk, was shivering from the cold. Fortunately, after Lu Chen11 jumped in, she immediately closed the window. Then he heard the sound of a zipper. I don't know your measurements, but these are all sportswear, and they're large sizes, so they should fit. Hurry up and put them on. Okay. Thank you, sister, Fong Ling said gratefully. My name is Huo Miao, Su Chao's sister. She didn't forget to introduce herself. Lu Chen11 found it a bit strange. Didn't we just talk on the phone? I know you're Huo Miao. Oh. Fong Ling laughed awkwardly, coughed twice, and quickly grabbed the clothes to put them on. Since I know you can't ski, I only brought my snowboard. You can stand on it and hold on to me tightly, and I'll take you home, Lu Chen11 instructed. But don't be too heavy on your feet. When my feet move, you follow the rhythm and lift your feet lightly. Don't worry, it's very simple. Yes, yes. Fong Ling nodded hurriedly. Su Chao said you've been hungry for a few days, right? Here's a smoked sausage for you. Eat it to fill your stomach first. When we get back, I'll cook you a bowl of noodles, Lu Chen11 said again. Smoked sausage. Seeing Lu Chen11 take out a premium sausage, Fong Ling didn't hold back, quickly took it, tore open the packaging with her teeth, and took a big bite. Eat slowly, don't choke. Lu Chen11 shook her head. Besides her training in the water, she usually stayed at home playing computer games. It was considered lucky that she had just stocked up on supplies 2 days before the blizzard hit. But with one person becoming 2 in the house, and since she mostly bought snacks, she was afraid the supplies would run out quickly. Lu Chen11 naturally knew that supplies were scarce. Although not as ridiculously expensive as in the Taoyuan community where Shunheng lived, they were still incredibly precious. Take your time. We'll go when you're warm. There's a supermarket on the way. We can climb in from the 2nd floor and get some food. Lu Chen11 patted the large bag on her back. Before she came, she had thought it through. This bag was for clothes. After Huo Miao got dressed, it would be empty. It was perfect for stopping by the supermarket to get more things. Okay, Fong Ling nodded hurriedly. Right, are you Su Chao's cousin? I've never heard him mention you before, Lu Chen11 asked casually. Her intuition told her that Fong Ling was not Su Chao's cousin, but probably one of his good sisters on the side. After all, Su Chao could easily hook up with her. A man like that couldn't possibly be so simple. Yes, we even had dinner together a few days ago. It's just that my company is far from his, and his work is busy, so we can only meet on weekends. Fong Ling replied nonchalantly, without revealing anything. Is that so? Lu Chen11 took a closer look at Fong Ling's face and agreed with this answer. This girl looks average. Even if she's not Su Chao's cousin, she's no threat. After a while, Fong Ling spoke up. All right, let's go. Lu Chen11 nimbly flipped out of the window. Just as she was about to turn back to pull Fong Ling, she suddenly heard a low chuckle from behind her. Fong Ling, sneaking away on your own without telling your superior me? Are you afraid I won't let you go home? Fong Ling's body trembled as if struck by lightning. President Wang. She laughed dryly. Without saying another word, she quickened her pace to climb out the window. But before she could flip out, a strong force from behind pulled her back into the room. Thud! Fong Ling fell to the ground. She was wearing many layers of clothes, so it didn't hurt much. She quickly got up and glared angrily. What do you want? No rush. What's a few minutes? Wang Qingguang smiled, his eyes on Lu Chen11 outside the window. Beauty, why don't you come in? Let's have a proper chat. What do you want to chat about? Fong Ling was tense. Wang Qingguang smiled faintly. Let's talk about how you, who are clearly named Fong Ling, suddenly changed your name to Huo Miao. Huo Miao is also an employee of our company. You too changed your names, even your surnames? Fong Ling, upon hearing Wang Qingguang's name, her face suddenly changed. Damn it. Wang Qingguang must have heard me on the phone just now. I felt someone was spying in the office earlier, and it turned out to be this man. Shut up. You. Fong Ling's face was pale, her voice weak. But before she could finish, Luchin 11 had already climbed back in from outside the window, closing it expressionlessly. I'd like to hear too. Wang Qingguang smiled and nodded at Luchin 11. My name is Wang Qingguang. I'm Fong Ling's superior, or more accurately, her company's leader. As for the Huo Miao you want to save, she went home long ago. What do you mean? Luchin 11 frowned slightly. Just now, after hearing Wang Qingguang speak, she had felt something was wrong. This woman, named Huo Miao, why was she being called Fong Ling by a man? So, when Wang Qingguang said he wanted to talk, Luchin 11 didn't hesitate to climb back in. Before the blizzard, that is, 4 nights ago, Huo Miao did stay at the company because she was too tired. But later, when the snow and rain started, her husband came to pick her up. When Wang Qingguang mentioned Huo Miao's name, his face was a little ugly. But he didn't know Luchin 11's relationship with Huo Miao, so he didn't dare to show his hatred. However, this woman in front of you and Huo Miao have never met. So why did she come to pick her up? Her husband. Luchin 11 was puzzled. Su Chao never told me these things. That's right. What was her husband's name again? Su Chao. That's right. That's the name. Wang Qingguang slapped his forehead. Luchin 11's body swayed. She shouted loudly, I'm impossible. What's impossible? We knew before that Huo Miao had a boyfriend named Su Chao. I just didn't expect them to have secretly gotten married without even inviting us, their colleagues, to the wedding. Wang Qingguang said indifferently. It wasn't until that evening that I saw her husband. He's quite handsome, about 1.78 meters tall. Luchin 11's face was pale. You must be lying to me. What's so easy to lie about? There are still many colleagues sleeping upstairs in my company. If you want, I can wake them up for you to confirm. Wang Qingguang had realized that the woman in front of him had an unusual relationship with Su Chao. Remembering the man who had cut off his little finger, he wished he could skin him alive. I didn't expect that bastard to be so good at playing with people, even deceiving this woman. Hearing Wang Qingguang's words, Luchin 11 took a deep breath and stared at Fong Ling on the ground, shouting loudly, You better explain this clearly to me. Fong Ling cowered in fear and stammered, I'm called. Her name is Fong Ling. I already said so. Wang Qingguang took out his mobile phone, opened the company's employee information list, and handed it to Luchin 11. This is our company's employee information. Inside are photos of both Huo Miao and Fong Ling. You can see for yourself. Luchin 11 took it with trembling hands. Although they were just ID photos, with one glance, she recognized that the woman she was supposed to save was Fong Ling, not Huo Miao. Huo Miao was extremely beautiful. Even in an ID photo, she was captivating. Even Luchin 11 had to admit that Huo Miao was much more beautiful than her. Why is it like this? If he already saved Huo Miao, why did he still trick me into coming out? Luchin 11 was lost, whispering softly. What exactly does he want to do? I had an abortion for him. Why does he still want to deceive me? Does lying to me make him so happy? I think I roughly understand what's going on. Wang Qingguang rubbed his chin and thought, then smiled and said, Did you pressure Su Chao to marry you? Yes, Luchin 11 sighed, her body swaying, almost falling. It's obvious that Su Chao is too timing. Wang Qingguang said affirmatively. You were rushing the marriage, but he just wanted to play with you. To be honest, between Huo Miao and you, if you were Su Chao, who would you choose? Luchin 11 didn't speak, her face turning even paler. The grass is always greener on the other side. He was just playing with you, Wang Qingguang said. Now, taking advantage of this harsh weather, he can finally get rid of you. Think about it. Although you know how to ski, getting from your house to our company is probably very difficult, right? In this cold weather, if you were just a little less, you could easily freeze to death outside. As far as I know, the whole country, even the whole world, has a large number of deaths, and the government hasn't shown up at all. After this snowstorm stops and social order is restored, who will remember you if you die outside? The news can only report how many people died nationwide. And the cause of death for people like you is either freezing or starvation. The fact that you froze to death on the blocked roads despite wearing thick clothes can also be reasonably explained. You had no supplies at home, went out to look for some, and unfortunately froze to death. Of course, most people won't care about you. Even your life will just be an anonymous number in the news. Luchin 11's pupils contracted. Indeed, Wang Qingguang's analysis was very reasonable. Otherwise, why did she have to do the abortion surgery all by herself? Su Chao didn't even want to show his face. When he called her just now, she thought Su Chao really wanted to contact her. Now that I think about it, I'm the real idiot. That bastard. Luchin 11's eyes were filled with hatred. This bastard, he dared to think of a way to kill me. Doesn't he feel any heartache? You hate Su Chao? I hate him too. Wang Qingguang held up his hand. See this? Just because I flirted with Huo Miao a little, on that rainy night, he came to the company and cut off my little finger. Then he took Huo Miao away. I think we can form an alliance, don't you? An alliance? Luchin 11 was stunned. It's very simple. You're a single woman, right? Wang Qingguang revealed a cold smile. Wanting to take revenge on Su Chao, I'm afraid it's very difficult for a woman alone. But with me, things will be completely different. Luchin 11 looked at Wang Qingguang and instinctively nodded. Wang Qingguang was tall and well-built, indeed a good partner for cooperation. After the snow stops, I will make him pay a heavy price. Even kill him. Wang Qingguang gritted his teeth and continued. As long as we don't leave any traces, by then, the government will also consider his death as freezing to death in this blizzard. After all, with so many bodies, it will take time for the government to handle them. Everyone who survived the blizzard will be lucky, who would have the energy to pursue so many things. By then, with everything in ruins, they will definitely want to develop vigorously for the continuation and development of humanity. They won't care about these things at all. Luchin 11 frowned slightly at this moment and nodded coldly. Although she loved Su Chao now wanted to take her life. How could Luchin 11 forgive him? She absolutely could not let this bastard go. Wait. Fong Ling panicked. Luchin 11 came to save me. What about me? Wang Qingguang looked disdainful. You colluded with Huo Miao and even wanted to harm this beautiful lady here. Do you still want her to take you with her? I can only take one person. Luchin 11 looked at Fong Ling with extremely cold eyes. Before Fong Ling could open her mouth, Wang Qingguang had already pounced on her, pinning her down. He quickly stripped off her clothes and put them on himself. Give me back my clothes. Fong Ling sobbed. Get lost. Wang Qingguang kicked Fong Ling. Then, he and Luchin 11 climbed out of the window. The bone-chilling cold made Wang Qingguang shiver, but breathing the outside air, he felt refreshed. I'm saved. Fong Ling cried like rain. Seeing Wang Qingguang climbing out of the window, she went crazy and lunged at him, pinning him down. Looking for death. A cold and ruthless look flashed in Wang Qingguang's eyes. He took the wooden stick he had brought from the office and hit Fong Ling on the head with all his might. But Fong Ling still held on to Wang Qingguang's clothes with all her strength. I told you to let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Wang Qingguang's face was ferocious. Seeing Fong Ling's determination to die, he used all his strength and hit her on the forehead several more times with the stick. It wasn't until Fong Ling fell silent and limp by the window that Wang Qingguang snorted, then went behind Luchin 11 and hugged her tightly. Let's go, beauty, Wang Qingguang said. Luchin 11, with a complicated look in her eyes, nodded gently. Then her face became a little awkward. Don't hug so tight. I can't help it. This outfit is a bit small, and the zipper in front won't close. Hugging you is the only way to keep the cold wind out. Otherwise, I'll freeze to death on the way before we even get to your house. Wang Qingguang hugged even tighter. There's a mini-mart nearby. Let's go over there and see. We can get some food, and I can also find some more clothes. Okay. Luchin 11 didn't say anything more, carrying Wang Qingguang as she slowly moved into the distance. And from the second floor behind them, Fong Ling lay motionless by the window. The cold wind still howled. Wang Qingguang and Luchin 11 went to the supermarket. Then Wang Qingguang took the wooden stick in his hand and smashed the glass with all his might. This kind of glass was easily broken. Wang Qingguang made the hole in the glass a little bigger, then crawled in, and then pulled Luchin 11 into the supermarket as well. The supermarket didn't have many goods, but there were no signs of it being looted. It was clear that this was the result of many people scrambling to shop during the heavy rain that night. However, the remaining items were enough for them to eat for a while. Wang Qingguang found 2 sets of clothes. After putting them on, he felt much warmer. Then he stuffed all the usable items into bags. After filling 3 or 4 bags, Wang Qingguang leaned close to Luchin 11's ear and said in a low voice, "That's enough for tonight. Tomorrow, During the day, we'll come back for more. That should be enough for us to live on for a while. Luchan 11 didn't expect Wang Qingguang to get so close. She blushed and took a step back, saying, "Why not take it all tonight? We can just make 2 more trips. If no one has come to this supermarket after 4 consecutive days of snow, then no one will come in the short term." Wang Qingguang said with a straight face, "Besides, he doesn't care about you. But can I care about you? The temperature at night is obviously much colder. What if something happens? Right? Do you have another snowboard at home? I know a little about skiing too. Tomorrow, let's go together. A woman like you running around alone, I'm not at ease." Luchan 11 didn't speak, her face blushing. This middle-aged fatty actually knows how to care for me. Seeing her expression, the corner of Wang Qingguang's mouth curled up slightly. They all say that a girl who has just been heartbroken is easy to take advantage of. She's really easy to coax. Although Luchan 11 is not a top-tier beauty, she's not bad. Tonight, I have to work a little harder and try to win her over. In the cold winter, holding a girl like this, eating and drinking to our fill, and then playing cards together, that's the life of enjoyment on Earth. After climbing out of the supermarket with Luchan 11, the 2 of them skied again. This time, Luchan 11 clearly no longer disliked Wang Qingguang hugging her tightly. Even when Wang Qingguang deliberately rubbed against her, Luchan 11 didn't react. There's hope tonight. Wang Qingguang's eyes lit up. Speaking of which, I have to thank Su Chao. If it weren't for you, you dog, I probably wouldn't even be able to touch such an open-minded girl. I just found out that Luchan 11 is a skier. Her figure must be top-notch. After I've enjoyed your woman and brought her to appear before you again, I'd like to see if Hua Miao will still stick with you. With Hua Miao's cold personality, she will definitely break up with you. By then, maybe I can take advantage of the situation like today and have a taste of Hua Miao." His hands were restless. Luchan 11 snapped, What are you doing with your hands? You don't like it?" Wang Qingguang kneaded through the layers of clothes. Luchan 11 didn't speak, just snorted and continued skiing. "I can definitely win her over tonight." Wang Qingguang was extremely excited. If it weren't so cold outside, he would have dealt with Luchan 11 on the spot. "Su Chao, it's all thanks to you." Wang Qingguang naturally didn't know that the Su Chao he was thanking in his heart was actually Shen Hong. Let alone him. Even Su Chao wouldn't have thought that Luchan 11 would get together with Hua Miao's boss. After several calls to Shen Hong that all went to a switched-off phone, Feng Lu cursed angrily for the 2nd time. "Don't be so noisy." Su Chao's face darkened as he snapped. "Can't you let me rest for a bit? How am I supposed to fight Shen Hong after this?" "Fight what? We don't even know which villa he's in." Feng Lu said angrily. "Are we supposed to go door to door looking for him?" Hearing this, Su Chao actually couldn't refute it. His eyes lit up. "You're right." "Huh?" Feng Lu looked confused. Row 2 only has 20 villas in total. 10 on the east side, 10 on the west side. Su Chao nodded slightly. "We can't just sit here and wait to die. If we can't get through to Shunheng's phone, then let's just go look for him. We can look while calling him. We'll be nearby, which will save time." "But it's so cold." Feng Lu shrank her neck, not wanting to go out. "Don't you think? Shen Hong hasn't turned on his phone all night. Are we supposed to huddle in this room for another night? Everything in the house that can be burned has been burned. Only this double bed is left. If we burn this too, we'll have to sleep on the floor," Su Chao said with a frown. "Let's just give it a try. Maybe we can move in tonight. But if we don't try, we'll definitely have to stay here again tonight." Feng Lu reluctantly nodded repeatedly. "Let's go." Su Chao and Feng Lu wrapped themselves tightly in blankets, held flashlights, and went down the stairs. Shen Hong had no idea that Wang Qingguang, who was supposed to have frozen to death at the company in his previous life, was now saved because of his butterfly effect of saving Hua Miao. Moreover, Wang Qingguang, filled with hatred, wanted to kill him, this Su Chao guy. He was currently holding the fragrant and soft Hua Miao. After turning off the old phone, he opened his new phone with his WeChat account and scrolled through the news. There were still many people posting news inside. After all, it was now the era of personal media development, and anyone could be a reporter. Basically, they were all news about complaining about the lack of food and drink and the cold weather. There were also some people posting that their homes had lost water and they didn't want to drink the snow outside because the snow was poisonous. It could be seen that the population in all parts of the country was declining sharply. Those living abroad, who used to post about the situation abroad all year round, were now posting news, and the situation was not much different. The officials of the Malay nation also quickly convened the army. The people were in dire straits, but they seemed to be completely ignored. Everyone had to save themselves. An air of pessimism was spreading. Shin Hung tried to search for a while about the coastal areas of the Dragon Kingdom, wanting to see related news. Now, half of the army had been deployed to the coast, and it was unknown what they were doing. But there was no news. Shin Hung finally found a piece of news about the coastal area. The headline was shocking. The coast of the Dragon Kingdom has appeared again. As soon as he clicked on it, a notification popped up saying that the related news was not true and had been deleted. The situation is already like this, and the officials still have the energy to delete news? What on earth appeared on the coast? He shook his head. The system upgrade countdown was still less than 3 hours away. He hadn't even had time to be intimate with Hua Miao before he was so tired that he fell asleep. He just wanted to try to stay up until after 2 in the morning, wait for the system to finish upgrading, and then immediately buy the ability fruit. At this moment, his mobile phone suddenly rang. Shin Hung frowned. This side account, Harmony Brings Wealth, had added many homeowners in the community as friends. However, everyone knew that when Big Boss, Harmony Brings Wealth, wasn't active in the group, no one was allowed to disturb him. Anyone who took the initiative to contact him would be directly unfriended and blocked by Harmony Brings Wealth, and he would not sell any supplies. He opened it to take a look, and it was a message from Yi Jiqiu. I'm so sorry to bother you so late at night. I wanted to ask if you have dioctahedral smectite. The child in the apartment across from me has diarrhea, but I don't have this kind of medicine at home. She and her husband had just gotten married not long ago and didn't have children yet, so naturally, they wouldn't have medicine for children's diarrhea. She had just fallen asleep when she was woken up by a knock from her neighbor across the hall. The couple from across the hall knew that Ning Jiao was a special medical expert from Jiangxing People's Hospital, so they brought their child to her for help. A doctor's heart. As a doctor, Ning Jiao naturally couldn't give up on saving him. However, without the corresponding medicine, she was helpless. Then, she immediately thought of Shin Hung. With a let's try our luck attitude, she took the initiative to send a message to Shin Hung. I do. 50,000 a box, Shin Hung replied nonchalantly. 50,000? In the hospital, a box is only 15 yuan. You, then go to the hospital and buy it. Shin Hung sneered and replied coldly. I'm just a merchant. Am I a saint? Do you know, because of the 3 types of medicine you sold for 200,000, the homeowner named Li Yuan Shang Chao, his father is dead. Ning Jiao was furious. You could have sold it a little cheaper. Even if a box was only 10,000, his father might not have died. You really have money in your eyes, don't you? Haha. He was the one who said that if his father could be saved, he would spend 200,000. So I can naturally determine that he has that much money. Shin Hung was disdainful. But when I offered 200,000, he hesitated to buy it. What does his father's death have to do with me? Dr. Ning, you should ask him that question instead. Between a chance to save his father and 200,000, he chose the money. Can you blame me for that? Ning Jiao was speechless. After a long while, she sent another message. This time, it was a voice message. Then can you sell it a little cheaper this time? This is still a 4-year-old child. 50,000 is really too much. The voice was very pleasant, with a hint of demureness. However, this had no effect on Shin Hung. He said irritably, Dr. Ning, there's only one price. If you want to buy it, buy it. If not, then forget it. Have you ever seen a patient dare to bargain with a hospital? Those who don't have money for treatment, can they cry and beg your hospital, and your hospital will waive the surgery fee? If you want to be a saint, use your own money to buy it. But don't morally blackmail me. I'm a merchant. Sorry, I have no morals. Hearing Yi Jiqiu's voice, it was a young girl. If he could make her his own, Shin Hung would be quite satisfied. He needed a doctor by his side, and if the doctor was a beautiful young girl, that would be even more perfect. After all, no one wants an old man following them around, right? But above all, money is still the most important thing. Money is his core foundation. Without money, the vending machine cannot be upgraded, and he himself will eventually become obscure in everyone's eyes. As for doctors, let alone other places, even in the Taoyuan community, there are many. Just give them a little food and drink, and many people will be willing to sell their lives for him. Ning Jiao fell silent immediately. She tilted her head and looked at the young couple with smiling faces at the opposite door, sighing. Their child only has diarrhea, but there's no suitable medicine. I don't know about others, but I know that Harmony Brings Wealth has the medicine. However, he's asking for 50,000 for a box of dioctahedral smectite. 50,000. The young couple was stunned. Yes. Ning Jiao shook her head. Why don't you try asking someone else? If you really can't, then you'll have to buy it from Harmony Brings Wealth. A sense of powerlessness filled her heart. She really didn't dare to offend Harmony Brings Wealth too much. After all, she had nothing left to eat at home, and tomorrow she would still have to find this big shot to buy more food. If she was blacklisted by the big shot, she wouldn't be able to buy it even if she wanted to. I heard that Old Wang and Hua Kai Fu Gui have been blacklisted by Harmony Brings Wealth. They are still hungry now. In the resident group, someone quickly posted a message. Songdat Sua, Chua Mei Mok. Excuse me, everyone. Does anyone have dioctahedral smectite? My child has diarrhea. I'm willing to trade 2 bags of instant noodles for it. Soon, someone replied. Moat Duong Phi Han. I have it. It's a deal for 2 bags of instant noodles. Songdat Sua Chua Mei Mok. Moat Duong Phi Han. Friend, don't worry. I definitely mean what I say. I'll add you as a friend. Accept the friend request, and we'll talk privately. Seeing the two of them talking, Shun Hung sneered. It seems that Moat Duong Phi Han is the person Dr. Ning needed to save just now. He was unwilling to spend 50,000 to buy medicine, but he was willing to take out 2 bags of instant noodles to trade. Truly foolish. As time goes by, he will soon realize that let alone 50,000. Even 500,000 won't be able to buy instant noodles. Money is basically useless. However, if these two want to trade, let them trade. Although Shun Hung has banned many people on the surface, he's just building a domineering image, one where his word is law, to make others fear him. In fact, he does hope that these people can all survive, at least until he has squeezed all their money out of them. They'd better survive. When their money is all gone, it will have nothing to do with him anymore. Songdat Sua Chua Mei Mok thought he had gotten a good deal. After all, 2 bags of instant noodles for 4,000, while the big shot, Harmony Brings Wealth, had asked for 50,000 for dioctahedral smectite. He excitedly ran downstairs to trade. Moat Duong Phi Han was also very satisfied. A box of useless medicine could be exchanged for 2 bags of instant noodles. For a moment, the originally quiet resident group became lively again. Many people were inspired and started exchanging items. Of course, food was still the scarcest commodity. There were also sick people who wanted to buy medicine but felt that Harmony Brings Wealth was selling it too expensive and finally reached an agreement with other residents. Yuping sent a message. Brother Shun, should I forbid them from trading privately? He had sold a lot during the day and had tasted the sweetness of it. He had also come into contact with Zhao Weilong and knew that Shun Hung had asked Zhao Weilong for help to secretly recruit underlings to protect the sales stall. Gui Yupeng became even more loyal to Shun Hung. Brother Shun had said that as long as he was obedient, he would be given preferential treatment and supplies for his whole family in the future. No need, let them be. Shun Hung was indifferent. No matter what they traded, in the end, all the money would flow into his pocket anyway. Gui Yupeng repeatedly said yes. Seeing that Shun Hung had no further instructions, he didn't dare to disturb him. After midnight tonight, the system will complete its upgrade. Tomorrow, when he goes into the underground tunnel again, he will be able to carry a large amount of supplies. At that time, he will give them all to Gui Yupeng to sell, testing him for a few days. After Gui Yupeng passes the test, he will be able to free up his hands and prepare to move on to other residential areas. After the apocalypse began, the snow fell continuously for more than a week. After the first time the snow stopped, the sun would come out, but the temperature of the entire blue star would remain unchanged, without a hint of warmth. However, these thick layers of snow would continuously solidify under the sun. That is to say, after the sun had been out for a day or two, the accumulated snow would become solid. By then, everyone could walk on the snow and go out. At that time, all the accumulated snow would sink a little. But the inside of the snow had already started to freeze. When people walked on the compacted snow, they would no longer sink deep into it. People could go out, which meant that social order would gradually be broken. Those who reacted quickly would target gas stations, restaurants, supermarkets, and clothing stores, scrambling to buy things. Those who reacted slowly would gather their relatives and friends, forming large and small forces, and eventually fall into chaotic battles over supplies. Shen Heng hoped to occupy Jiangsheng before everyone started fighting, or rather, to control most of the residential areas of Jiangxing. By then, what level would the vending machine have reached? Next to Villa number 3, the two sisters, Yang Jinxian and Yang Muxian, were both huddled in the basement. It wasn't that they didn't want to stay upstairs, but it was really too cold. On the contrary, the basement was covered by snow, and they found that the temperature seemed to be a little warmer. The two sisters were in the second basement. The floor was covered with sofa cushions, and on top of that were thick layers of blankets and mattresses. In front of them were a few bags of snacks, and also the leftover seafood shells from the meal Shen Heng had brought earlier. Not far away, a fire was burning. The table in the house, Yang Jinxian had reluctantly brought it down to directly start a fire for warmth. This was a brand-name table that had cost her tens of thousands. But in this kind of weather, if she didn't find a way to start a fire for warmth, no matter how valuable it would be useless. Relying on the fire, the two of them even took the seafood Shen Heng had given them and grilled it directly, eating a full meal. There was no drinking water in the house. When they were thirsty, they could only drink red wine. That's right. In the past, others might have thought that using red wine to quench thirst was a joke, but in this apocalypse, it became possible. There was only red wine in the house, and the two sisters were afraid of getting drunk and having no one to watch the fire. They could only take small sips, trying not to choke. When they were too thirsty to bear it, they would take a small sip. All the thick blankets and mattresses in the house had been taken down. They were covered with quilts for warmth, which was still quite warm. But when would this kind of life end? These past 2 days, the two of them would occasionally go upstairs to check the situation, but the weather hadn't changed at all. The sky was tirelessly snowing. The food in the house was visibly dwindling. What should they do? The two sisters stared at the fire, not saying a word. Yang Jinxian thought of the message Hua Miao had sent on WeChat. She didn't know what she was thinking. She quietly opened the chat history with Hua Miao. "You two sisters, are you willing to be my husband's girlfriends?" When she received this message, Yang Jinxian thought Hua Miao was crazy. She was stunned for a moment before replying to Hua Miao with a question mark. Soon, Hua Miao sent a new message. There was no text, only a large number of pictures. There were pictures of Hua Miao cooking various delicious dishes for 3 meals a day, and also a photo of Hua Miao in a thin pajama set, as well as a selfie of Hua Miao with Shen Heng hugging her while watching TV. In the picture, Shen Heng was also wearing a thin pajama set, his hair wet, as if he had just taken a shower. Yang Jinxian really couldn't believe it. But looking closely, Hua Miao and Shen Heng both had rosy, clean faces, unlike her. She hadn't showered in 4 days. Her hair was disheveled, and she felt smelly. There was also a selfie of Hua Miao in the bathroom, where she was using various high-end cosmetics for skincare and wearing a face mask. How could they be living so well? Yang Jinxian looked at these pictures over and over again, countless times. In the dead of night, she yearned for it even more. That beautiful girlfriend of Shen Heng's actually asked her if she wanted to be his girlfriend. Although it wasn't stated explicitly, Yang Jinxian knew very well in her heart that as long as she and her sister agreed, they would be welcomed with open arms, and the two sisters would be allowed to live in their house. The first wife's jealousy of the concubine would not happen. They would live in harmony. After all, the one who invited her was Shen Heng's girlfriend. Wait a minute. Yang Jinxian suddenly frowned. The person who sent this message, could it be Shen Heng himself? Could it be that the two of them were playing some interesting game, and she sent it to her? It must be like that. Young people play quite boldly. She was a little unable to keep up. She laughed awkwardly to herself. Earlier, she had even thought it was real. And at this moment, Yang Muxian, who was silently scrolling through her mobile phone on the opposite side, suddenly looked up, her face full of doubt as she looked at her sister. "Sister, Hua Miao just added me as a friend. It's that girlfriend of Shen Heng's. She asked me to ask you about the matter she mentioned before. How have you considered it? Why haven't you replied?" What matter did she ask about? When I asked her, she was very mysterious, only telling me to ask you. Hearing her sister's question, Yang Jinxian was slightly startled. She replied awkwardly, "It's nothing." "Huh?" Yang Muxian asked doubtfully. "What did you and Huamiao talk about?" "What did she ask you?" "I said it's nothing." Yang Jinxian frowned. "Don't meddle in my business. I don't want to answer her." Seeing her sister seemed angry, Yang Muxian didn't say anything more, stood up to add firewood to the bonfire, and then lay down on the mattress. Yang Jinxian stared at her mobile phone, where Huamiao had sent several pictures. After those pictures, she had not replied, and Huamiao had not sent anything else. But now, Huamiao had added her sister as a friend and was even urging her through her sister, asking why she hadn't replied to Huamiao's message. How could she reply? Yang Jinxian knew that her sister was very curious. If she really didn't reply to Huamiao, it was very likely that Huamiao would send a message to her sister again. By then, her sister would definitely pester her for an answer. She had no choice but to send a message to Huamiao on her phone. "What do you mean?" "I just wanted to ask you a question," Huamiao replied quickly. "Are you and your sister Muxian willing to be my husband's girlfriends?" Yang Jinxian's face twitched. She discreetly looked up at her sister and saw that Yang Muxian seemed to be engrossed in her phone. Only then did she quickly reply, "I don't understand what you mean at all." "What do you mean, be your husband's girlfriends?" "It's the literal meaning of the words. My husband is Shun Heng. Are you willing to be Shun Heng's girlfriends?" Huamiao didn't beat around the bush with Yang Jinxian and said it directly. "I've sent you those pictures. I believe you've seen them. Now, the outside is covered in ice and snow, but my husband and I are still living a high-quality life. As long as you nod, I'll talk to him. Beautiful sisters like you, my husband will definitely agree." Yang Jinxian was shocked. "You and Shun Heng are a couple, and you still want to find girlfriends for him?" Huamiao sent back an emoji of a girl obediently nodding. Yang Jinxian rubbed her eyes, her face full of surprise. She was only 28 this year, but the changes in this world made her feel for the first time that she couldn't keep up. Yang Muxian was lying on the bed. Although she was still looking at her mobile phone, her mind was all on her sister. It could be seen that Huamiao seemed to be telling her sister something quite shocking, which made her sister's eyes widen. What on earth is it? Her heart itched, and she really wanted to get closer to see, but she remembered that when she asked just now, her sister looked unnatural, clearly not wanting her to know. "If I can't see, then I won't see." She wrinkled her nose. "Are you really Huamiao?" After a long while, Yang Jinxian typed, "Have you been brainwashed by Shun Heng? Do you know what you're saying?" "Of course I know." Shun Heng was currently arranging work for Zhao Weilong. Zhao Weilong was very efficient and had already gathered about 10 subordinates, all strong young men. Although his fighting skills were not very good, he was relatively capable in terms of work. Seeing that Shun Heng was ignoring her, Huamiao felt at ease and replied, "Do you know what the situation is like outside now? Even if you don't go out, you should have seen the news in the apartment resident group, right?" Yang Jinxian sent back a single word. "Then let me ask you a bold question. Do you still have food at home?" Huamiao said with a smile. "Even if you do, there probably isn't much left, right?" Yang Jinxian was silent. Besides the seafood meal at noon, there was indeed no food left in the house. And there wasn't much seafood left at noon either, not enough to fill them up at all. "It's already 12 o'clock now. Did I hit a nerve?" Huamiao said with a grin. "If you agree, not only can you live in our warm room, but you can also enjoy delicious food. Shun Heng has said that we don't have to worry about food at all." And Huamiao really knew that Shun Heng was not lying. These past few days, no matter what she wanted to eat, Shun Heng could take it out like a magic trick, and there were even all kinds of fresh fruits. Huamiao didn't know how Shun Heng got it. After all, it was freezing cold outside, and the food had long since frozen into a block of ice. But the vegetables and fruits Shun Heng took out were extremely fresh, as if they had just been picked. When Shun Heng was doing his supply business before, she was still worried about what to do if all the supplies were sold out and they went hungry. But Shun Heng had made it clear that even if the two of them ate for 10 lifetimes, they wouldn't finish it. So what was there to worry about? Bringing this pair of sisters over, making them on the same side as me, and preventing Shun Heng from finding other women outside is what's important. Many people have already died in the outside world. Huamiao also knew clearly that if she had continued to stay at the company without food or drink, she would have died long ago. No wonder Shun Heng said this was the apocalypse. In the apocalypse, supplies are hard to find, but beautiful women are everywhere. If one day Shin gets tired of me and kicks me out, that would be truly desperate. When she was on a video call with Su Chao earlier, she saw clearly that the house Su Chao used to live in was now covered in frost on the walls. Su Chao was huddled in a blanket, with a scruffy beard and a haggard face. Compared to that scene, she was still enjoying a privileged life. And after these few days together, she had also fallen deeply in love with Shun Hung from the bottom of her heart. All women love to rely on strong men. Huo Miao knew that she had fallen hopelessly in love with Shun Hung. In order not to leave Shin Hung, I have to make a decision. Sharing Shin Hung with Yang Jinxian and Yang Muxian is still better than being kicked out in the future. She wanted to hedge her bets. Moreover, she could also let Shun Hung see her generosity, and he would definitely love her even more. And again, the Yang sisters were brought over by her own initiative. The two of them would also be on her side. In the future, even if there are more sisters, they will not only be latecomers, but she and the Yang sisters will be as close as iron, and everything will be up to her. In short, it seems now that she has to share the man she loves, but what she gets in return is even greater. These past 2 days, when she was at home scrolling through video news, she had discovered some abnormalities. As an office worker, she longed for the vast blue sea, so she also followed a few bloggers from the coastal areas. But now, those bloggers have all stopped updating. She even tried to search for a while about the situation in the coastal areas, but there was no news at all. This made her both surprised and even more nervous. What on earth happened in the coastal areas? This made her even more determined to hold on to Shun Hung tightly and absolutely not be abandoned. Of course, Shin Hung also loved her very much now, and she was very satisfied. Her parents in the countryside were temporarily safe. The two elders were used to storing food, and they also grew vegetables at home, so they had plenty of supplies. There was also coal and firewood behind the house, so it was really safe. With a loving man by her side and her parents safe at home, to be honest, Huo Miao was already very, very satisfied. Therefore, she hoped even more that she would not lose her current life. This, Yang Jinxian's face stiffened. She naturally didn't know Huo Miao's thoughts, only feeling that this woman had gone mad. How could she have such a crazy idea to find a girlfriend for her own husband? At first, she thought the blizzard outside was enough to drive people crazy. She didn't expect Huo Miao's thoughts to be even crazier. She simply couldn't be reasoned with. Are you pitying me? You want me to trade my body for supplies, so you can also receive Shin Heng's love? Yang Jinxian said, suppressing her anger. I'm really sorry. I don't know if you pay attention to the apartment resident group. There's a big boss selling supplies in there. Although the price is not cheap, I think I won't starve for the time being. She could contact Harmony Brings Wealth to buy some supplies. But she was afraid that once she left, the Song family's lackeys lurking nearby would take the opportunity to rob her. Although she didn't know why they hadn't broken down her door yet, Yang Jinxian was still very careful and vigilant, not daring to go out. Giggle. Unexpectedly, Huo Miao sent a string of clear, bell-like laughter. What are you laughing at? Yang Jinxian frowned. Sister Jean, you probably don't know yet, right? Harmony Brings Wealth is my husband, Shun Hung. Huo Miao chuckled. And you should have heard that several people have been blacklisted by my husband. Even if they want to buy, they can't get any supplies. What do you think would happen if I told my husband not to sell supplies to you? What? Yang Jinxian's eyes widened once again. Harmony Brings Wealth is Shun Hung. She instinctively wanted to refute it, but then she remembered the photo Huo Miao had sent and fell silent. Huo Miao had no reason to lie to her. She could directly ask Shin Hung to verify it. One question would be enough. Moreover, Huo Miao's current standard of living was indeed much higher than normal. Every household had no drinking water, yet Huo Miao could still take a shower. I haven't offended you. Besides, on that rainy night, I was the one who gave Shun Hung a car so he could pick you up. Otherwise, you would have probably frozen to death at your company by now. Yang Jinxian gritted her teeth. Huo Miao replied with a smile. So, to thank you, sister, I wanted you to enjoy these good days with me. Yang Jinxian almost coughed up blood from anger. You want me to enjoy good days? It's for your husband to enjoy, right? I'm not. She really wanted to refuse, but she looked up at her sister. Muxian was with her. Although she was still alive, her hair was disheveled, and she no longer looked like a girl at all. She even had to let her starve with her. I'm really not a worthy sister. Yang Jinxian clenched her fists. After a long while, she asked desperately, I beg you, don't do this. I can accept your request, but my sister is still young. So, the decision has been made. Huo Miao smiled brightly. At this moment, Shun Heng turned his head and asked softly, My baby, what are you smiling at? It's nothing, honey. I just saw something interesting. Huo Miao waved her hand slightly. Shen Heng didn't suspect her at all. After all, he knew that Huo Miao was now completely devoted to him. Even if he didn't check her phone, she would absolutely not betray him. Today, Zhao Weilong performed very well, recruiting many underlings. Moreover, he handled the matter of purchasing green plants quite well. His house was already piled high with green plants. Shen Heng was afraid that those green plants would freeze to death at Zhao Weilong's house, so he told him to bring them over tomorrow. Zhao Weilong hurriedly agreed. Now, from the bottom of his heart, he was truly afraid of Shen Heng. Shen Heng has a gun. This is no ordinary big brother. Moreover, this big brother also said that as long as he worked hard, he would absolutely not let him starve. Although Shen Heng had blinded one of his eyes, Zhao Weilong didn't dare to have the slightest resentment. Just then, Shen Heng's mobile phone rang again. Someone had sent a friend request. For friend requests, Shen Heng would basically reject them now. After all the supply sales business had been handed over to Guai Yupeng to handle. He casually clicked open the friend request, intending to glance at it, and then close it immediately, so that there would be no red number 1 at the bottom. Shen Heng had a bit of obsessive-compulsive disorder and couldn't stand having unread messages. However, this time, the message attached to the friend request said, I'm Yang Jinxian. Are you Shen Heng? Shen Heng was immediately stunned. He wondered, am I logged into the Harmony Brings Wealth account and my true identity has been exposed? Shen Heng turned his head and looked at Huo Miao. Let me see your phone for a moment. Huo Miao was stunned for a moment, and the phone in her hand was taken by Shen Heng. The screen still displayed the conversation she was having with Yang Jinxian. Shen Heng's eyes widened, looking at the conversation between the two in disbelief, his mouth agape. Baby, you talked to Yang Jinxian about this? Huo Miao took the initiative to find women for him. Am I dreaming? Seeing him dazed, Huo Miao pouted and leaned in. Oh, my good husband, I didn't tell you about this. You won't be angry, right? You definitely won't be angry. After all, your good wife here is helping you arrange for more women, right? What on earth is she doing? Shen Heng was both amused and helpless. Then I'll say it, you can't get angry. Huo Miao carefully observed Shen Heng's expression, then said softly, Last night after you came back, I saw a girl's red hair on your neck. Last night. Shen Heng was stunned, then suddenly realized. He suddenly understood. Huo Miao had discovered that strand of hair and felt that he had another woman outside, which made her feel insecure. She's behaving so obediently because she's afraid that one day he won't want her anymore? Shen Heng held her in his arms and said gently, That's right. Huo Miao looked aggrieved. So I thought, I have to find a teammate for myself first, so the three of us can take care of you together. That way, you won't have time to fool around outside anymore. And you'll always remember my contribution and won't abandon me. Shen Heng was moved. Don't worry, I promised you. As long as you don't betray me, I will never abandon you. He had never thought that a woman like Huo Miao could be so obedient to him, so gentle and coquettish. She even took the initiative to get him another wife. And not just any ordinary woman, but the beautiful young widow next door. Along with her sister. 2 at once. Truly, the sea accepts 100 rivers. Just thinking of Yang Jinxian's beautiful face, Shen Heng couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. To be honest, Shen Heng had not been without thoughts of Yang Jinxian, but he never thought things would happen so suddenly. And Yang Jinxian even agreed. Just thinking about their conversation, Shen Heng felt his throat go dry. You're clearly moved, yet you're still pretending you don't want it. But your body has already betrayed you. Huo Miao noticed Shen Heng's strangeness and gave him a sidelong glance. It's your little sister Miao Miao who loves her big brother the most, Shen Heng replied with a grin, then leaned down to kiss Huo Miao. Am I not enough for you? Yang Jinxian waited for a long time, but still didn't see Huo Miao reply. She became a little anxious. Why are you being so forceful? Why must a woman make things difficult for another woman? Besides, are you really willing to share your husband with someone else? It's really too much. Why aren't you saying anything? Am I not enough for you? Yang Jinxian sent another WeChat message. Don't push people too far. However, Shun Heng was currently holding Huo Miao and kissing her passionately, not paying any attention to the phone's ringing. I can't bring myself to say it. That's my sister. I promise I will do my best to take care of Shun Heng. Please let her go. If Shun Heng is still not satisfied with the two of us sisters, I'm willing to help him find more in the future. Is that okay? How can two sisters serve one man? Seeing that Huo Miao still didn't reply, Yang Jinxian was burning with anxiety and pleaded in a low voice. Shun Heng is harmony brings wealth. If I go against him, I'm afraid I'll really be banned. By then, even if I have a pocket full of money, what's the use? Without food or drink, I'll soon die. Dry in this basement. Yang Muxian saw her sister was sometimes horrified, sometimes dazed, and sometimes had a resentful expression, which made her even more curious. Sister. Just as she opened her mouth, the basement door suddenly rang with violent noises. Asterisk bang. Bang. Asterisk the two of them jumped in fright. Yang Jinxian's face was pale as she tremblingly approached the basement door. The knocking on the door became more and more urgent and fierce. Yang Muxian didn't dare to speak, nervously looking at her sister. Is it the Song family? It must be the people the Song family sent to monitor me. They haven't made a move for the past few days. Why are they knocking on the door in the middle of the night? Can't they wait any longer? Or have the people monitoring me run out of supplies, so they want to forcibly take me away? But with the world covered in ice and snow, could it be that Song Zhengming has led people here on snowmobiles? Yang Jinxian's thoughts were in a mess, her heart in turmoil. She approached and looked through the peephole, but it was pitch black outside. She couldn't see anything. She was startled. The peephole had been covered by someone. Outside the door, Su Chao and Feng Lu were wrapped in blankets, shivering. Su Chao was hiding a short distance away, while Feng Lu was shivering so much she could barely stand. The blanket on her was almost pressed against the door. She pressed her face against the peephole on the basement door, trying to look inside. Then she turned her head and lowered her voice. It's not this house. We've already knocked on the third one. Let's try a little harder. There are only 20 in total. We've already checked about 1/7 of them. Su Chao exhaled a breath of cold air and whispered. Shin Heng had told them earlier that he was in the second row of row villas. So the two of them, fully armed, went into the underground passage. After walking for a long time, both of their minds were frozen to the point of being dull. After arriving at the second row of villas, they began to investigate each one from west to east. This was villa number 3, West Row 2. They had just knocked on the third one. The first two were empty. They knocked for a long time without any response. They also took the opportunity to send a WeChat message to Shun Heng, but it was like a stone sinking into the sea, with no reply. Shun Heng had indeed turned on his old phone just now, but he hadn't replied to Feng Lu. He was thinking that it wasn't good to keep his phone off all night. Maybe Feng Lu would find out he was teasing her. It's fine to turn it off for a while. Feng Lu will naturally call again later. By then, he would answer and say he had just restarted it, and it would be fine. He never expected that Feng Lu couldn't wait any longer and had come out with Su Chao, and had even come all the way here. Feng Lu looked through the peephole for a long time without seeing any movement, then took out her mobile phone again and sent a WeChat message to Shin Heng. Haven't you turned on your phone yet? Where exactly are you in row 2? I took advantage of Su Chao sleeping and sneaked here through the underground tunnel. Why haven't you replied to my message yet? There really is someone. In the room, Yang Jinxian was still pressed against the door, looking through the peephole, startled. She saw the person outside the door was wrapped in a blanket, and she couldn't see their face clearly. However, he was still holding a mobile phone and sending a message. Yang Jinxian saw the light from the phone screen. He must be sending a message to Song Zhengming. She tiptoed, wanting to go back to the room and pretend no one was there. Shin Heng was holding Huo Miao and kissing her passionately. Hearing the old phone ring, he let go of Huo Miao and picked it up to look. This little girl Feng Lu, she's here again? He frowned, thinking about how to reply. To come here in the middle of the night and not freeze to death, she's really tough. However, he would definitely not open the door for this woman. Just then, Huo Miao also regained her senses, her face blushing. She picked up her mobile phone and scrolled through it. seeing that Yang Jinxian had sent several more messages. Just then, she smiled and replied, "Sister Jean, I was just kissing my husband, so I didn't have time to reply to your message." Just as Yang Jinxian turned around, intending to go back to the room, she suddenly heard her phone ring from her pocket. She quickly covered her pocket, her face ugly, and outside the door, Feng Lu was just about to get up and leave when her ears suddenly twitched. She turned her head and looked at Su Chao in surprise. She quickly waved at Su Chao. Su Chao tiptoed over, only to hear Feng Lu's voice pressed very low. "There's someone in this house, but they didn't open the door just now. It must be Shen Hong." Inside and outside the door, both groups of people stood frozen in place, motionless. Feng Lu carefully pressed against the door, once again peering through the peephole into the room. Yang Jinxian's face was grim. Just now, the sound of a phone notification suddenly came from the quiet room. Fearing the people outside would hear, she also quickly pressed herself against the door, looking through the peephole. The peephole was black again. The person outside had blocked it again. At this moment, she was completely certain. Knocking on the door so late at night and deliberately standing right in front of the peephole, it must be the people from the Song family monitoring her nearby. What should I do? She was burning with anxiety. Shen Hong sent a WeChat message to Feng Lu. "Are you kidding me? Coming here in the middle of the night. Aren't you afraid of freezing to death?" Huo Miao sent a message to Yang Jinxian. "Sister Jean, why aren't you replying to me? Are you trying to convince your little sister?" Ding dong. Inside and outside the room, the WeChat notifications sounded at the same time. Yang Jinxian's face was filled with fear. Song Zhengming has messaged back. Is he going to send someone to break down the wall? Or climb in from the side? With the snow so thick, it's still very easy to climb in. Thinking of this, she quickly gave her sister a look, telling her to sneak up and take a look. Yang Muxian nodded with a serious face, wrapped a thick blanket around herself, and quietly went upstairs. She hid in a dark corner of the bedroom, staring at the second-floor window. Outside the door, Feng Lu, upon hearing the phone ring, was first stunned, then quickly picked up her mobile phone. It was a message from Shen Hong. As soon as she opened it, she was so angry her lungs were about to explode. "I ran such a long way. I'm about to freeze into an ice sculpture. And you're saying I'm kidding you?" In the room, Yang Jinxian, seeing nothing through the peephole, took out her mobile phone, her eyes filled with tears. She quickly replied to Huo Miao's message. "I agree. I agree to everything. I don't know if my sister is willing, but I agree to be Shen Heng's woman. I will serve him with all my heart, and will also try to listen to you. Can you come and save me now? There are people outside our door." Right now, she could only ask Shen Hong for help. She didn't want to fall into the hands of that pervert Song Zhengming. Although she felt that Huo Miao's mental state was also a bit abnormal, it was still much better than Song Zhengming's. "There are people." Huo Miao was stunned. She looked at the time on her mobile phone. It was almost 1 in the morning. So late, and there are still people outside Yang Jinxian's room? I'm right next door to her, and I haven't heard anything. She must want to move in now, but feels too embarrassed to be so proactive, so she's deliberately saying this to me, right? My husband's charm is really great. She looked up at Shen Hong and saw his strange expression as he looked at his mobile phone. Feng Lu had sent another message. "I'm at Villa number 3, West Row 2 now. Shen Hong, I'm really not lying to you. Where on earth are you?" I'm about to freeze to death." "Villa number 3, West Row 2? Isn't that Yang Jinxian's house? Right next to me. Is Feng Lu in the underground passage right now? What did Yang Jinxian say to you?" Shen Hong looked at Huo Miao in surprise. Huo Miao was secretly pleased and said obediently, "She agreed. However, she's begging you to go save her now. She said there are people outside their door." Haha, Yang Jinxian finally understands me. It's clear that even if she is favored by Shen Hong, I am still the one in charge. She's really sensible enough. Shen Hong, however, didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Well, Feng Lu really did come. At this moment, Huo Miao's mobile phone rang again. She picked it up and glanced at it, then said seriously, she sent another message, saying there are at least 2 people outside the door. She's also afraid you're not their match and told you to be careful. After reading this message, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. Sister Jean is really a green tea bitch. She wants my husband to go save her, but she's also worried about my husband. She hasn't even entered our house yet, and she's already starting to feel sorry for Brother Shin? Haha. Shin Hung smiled. Honey, what are you laughing at? Huo Miao was a little confused about what was going on. It's nothing. Shin Hung shook his head, held Huo Miao, and lay down peacefully. All right, the show is almost over. It's time to end it. Huo Miao looked very confused but still obediently followed Shin Hung and lay down beside him. Shin Hung picked up his mobile phone and made a video call to Feng Lu. Ring, ring. The sound of the video call rang out, echoing in the empty underground passage. Feng Lu was so scared she trembled and almost dropped her mobile phone. She was still a little angry, but seeing that the video call was from Shin Hung, she immediately smiled and quickly answered. In Yang Jinxian's room, her heart was pounding in her throat. The people outside were still on the phone. It must be Song Zhengming sending more people. What should I do? She was in a panic and quickly turned to go upstairs, finding her sister huddled in a dark corner on the second floor. Why are you here? Yang Muxian was a little strange and said in a low voice, There's no one outside. What's going on? Have the people in the underground passage left? No. Yang Jinxian gritted her teeth and said sternly, If Song Zhengming takes me away, I'm afraid you won't be able to escape either. She knew very well her sister's beauty was no less than her own. And although they were a few years apart, the features between their eyebrows were quite similar. Yang Jinxian knew very well the lethality of sisters to men. If she was taken away by Song Zhengming, her sister would have a hard time escaping. Even if Song Zhengming didn't take her sister away, in this villa without food or drink, her sister would surely die here. Yang Muxian's face was tense, her complexion a little pale. It's the two of you. Yang Jinxian hugged her sister tightly. Sister, don't say these things. Yang Muxian's sister. The classmates who stayed at school now have nothing to eat or drink and are trapped in the dormitory. Some have already fainted. At least I can be with my sister. We will definitely be fine. I will definitely take you with me to survive. A determined and bright light flashed in Yang Jinxian's eyes. She had promised her parents that she would take good care of her sister no matter what in this life. Even if she died, she could not let Muxian be harmed. Becoming Shin Hung's woman, she had to accept it. On the other hand, Shin Hung is young and handsome, and I am a widow. It can be considered that I have taken advantage of him. It's just that the other party has a legitimate wife. When I go, I will only be a mistress. She let go of the knot in her heart. If her sister really likes Shin Hung, she is also willing to share. But if her sister doesn't like him, Shin Hung must promise that he will not force her. She picked up her mobile phone. This time, she didn't type, but calmly said through voice, Huo Miao, you tell Shin Hung, as long as he is willing to save our two sisters, then I, Yang Jinxian, will be his person. I will never betray him. In addition, I will accept him having other women. Even, I will introduce my friend to him. Her husband has lost contact, and she is also very beautiful. If Shin Hung is willing, I will also help persuade her. Ah. Yang Muxian's eyes widened, looking at her sister in surprise, unable to believe it. What is my sister saying? Also, if my sister likes him, I have nothing to say and am willing to share. But if my sister already has someone she likes, he is not allowed to force her, Yang Jinxian added. Yang Muxian's face immediately turned red. She understood everything at this moment. Why did her sister talk to Huo Miao about that just now? Shin Hung wants to keep both of us sisters? And Huo Miao, Shin Hung's official partner, is even helping the tyrant do evil, helping him plan? If Song Zhengming sends more subordinates to the underground passages, then by then, I will be unable to escape. For now, I can only beg Shin Hung. The other party only has two people. Shin Hung might still be able to win. Moreover, there's Huo Miao, and me and my sister. For versus 2, they have the advantage in numbers, just a little weaker in terms of gender. As long as we can leave with Shin Hung, in this weather, even if Song Zhengming wants to send more people, it will be more difficult. Yang Jinxian's heart was as clear as a mirror. She knew that this was the best opportunity. Therefore, she stated all her bottom lines. Yang Muxian stared wide-eyed, unable to believe it, as she looked at her sister. Yang Jinxian didn't dare to look her sister in the eye, and slightly turned her head away. Sister, are you crazy? Yang Muxian exclaimed in shock. This is the only chance for me to escape from the Song family, Yang Jinxian said, biting her lower lip. With such heavy snow, people all over the world are short of supplies. The Song family is no exception. I bet they are busy storing supplies now and temporarily can't come here. They don't even have suitable transportation to come find me. While they have few people, plus we can coordinate from the inside and outside, maybe we can really escape. But if we escape, where should we go? The temperature is over 60 degrees below zero, which has exceeded the limit of our body's endurance. We don't even have a place to go. Yang Jinxian sighed. Shen Heng is the one selling supplies in the Harmony community. He has so many supplies, so he can naturally feed the two of us. And his family is also very warm. We can also survive. Before our parents passed away, I secretly swore that no matter what in this life, I would protect you well. Sister. Yang Muxian's eyes immediately turned red. The two of them hugged each other. The video was quickly sent out. Looking at the bright room, Shen Heng yawned. Feng Lu was really about to die of anger. I ran all the way here shivering in the cold, and you're sleeping? Moreover, Shen Heng's shoulder was still exposed, covered only by a thin blanket. It was obvious that Shen Heng's house was as warm as spring. She was really envious to the point of going crazy. Shen Heng, where on earth are you? I want to come in quickly. I'm about to freeze to death. Although she was upset, Feng Lu didn't dare to get angry. She forced a pleasant smile, her voice trembling, and kept stamping her feet. Beside her, Su Chao was also standing there shivering, just like her. This guy didn't say a word, afraid of being seen by Shen Heng. This is the underground passage. Shen Heng frowned. That's right. Whoosh whoosh. Feng Lu nodded repeatedly. Yes, I'm at room 3, West Row 2. Are you alone? Shen Heng asked again. That, of course. Feng Lu glanced at Su Chao guiltily, then said, I just took advantage of Su Chao sleeping and quietly ran over here. It's just me. It's already 1 o'clock. Aren't you going to let me come over? I know I was wrong. Haha. Shen Heng shook his head and said indifferently, Feng Lu, do you know what I hate the most? What? Feng Lu was stunned. I hate it when people lie to me. Shen Heng narrowed his eyes and said softly, What's your relationship with Su Chao? Explain it clearly to me. No relationship at all. Feng Lu was scared out of her wits and quickly waved her hands. There's really nothing between us. Look, you're overthinking again. Didn't Huo Miao call you just now? Even if you don't believe Su Chao, don't believe me. But there's no need for Huo Miao to lie to you, right? Then let me ask you, are you alone right now? Shen Heng said coldly. I am. You're still lying to me. Shen Heng said with a disdainful expression. Feng Lu, I've already given you a chance. Su Chao is right next to you. Do you think I don't know? Also, Huo Miao is not with you guys at all right now. I hate liars the most. Now that I think about it. When you told me you were pregnant before, I'm afraid that was also a lie, right? Feng Lu, don't send me any more videos. Since you've chosen Su Chao, I've automatically become your ex. The two of us naturally have no relationship anymore, right? I wish you and Su Chao a long and happy life together. Goodbye. Oh, right. If you still want to trick me into letting you into my house, then you'd better not lie to me. After saying that, Shen Heng directly hung up. Hey, Shen Heng, I didn't lie to you. Feng Lu quickly opened her mouth, but she had only said a few words when Shen Heng had already disconnected the video. Feng Lu cursed angrily. How did it get exposed? Su Chao frowned, seriously recalling that he had absolutely not exposed himself. So how did Shen Heng know about their relationship? Did you secretly contact Shen Heng behind my back? He looked at Feng Lu with suspicion. Me? Secretly contacting him behind your back? Feng Lu was like a cat whose tail had been stepped on, jumping up and pointing at Su Chao's nose, cursing. Do I have to do that? The two of us are now grasshoppers on the same rope, sharing weal and woe. If I secretly contacted him behind your back, I would at least have to get into his room, right? But what about now? Neither of us can get in. He not only doesn't believe you, he doesn't even believe me. Su Chao didn't say a word. He also felt that Feng Lu couldn't have snitched. If Feng Lu fell out with him, he could also tell Shen Heng about his relationship with Feng Lu. By then, Shen Heng would also despise Feng Lu. Before being accepted into the family by Shen Heng, he and Feng Lu were as solid as an iron block. Then who could it be? Su Chao's face darkened. Huo Miao. A look of certainty immediately appeared in Feng Lu's eyes. It's definitely her. If it wasn't Huo Miao, how could we have been exposed? She knows about our relationship and must have secretly told Shen Heng. Quickly contact your little skier sister and tell her to ditch Huo Miao. Don't go pick her up anymore. Just let her freeze to death at the company. Su Chao was silent, picking up his mobile phone to call Lu Chen 11. But at this moment, Lu Chen 11 had already returned home with Wang Qingguang. The two of them, having a common enemy, had now become close allies without any gaps. Plus, with Wang Qingguang's sweet words, Lu Chen 11 was also very. After not seeing anyone for a few days, she was also feeling an itch in her heart. The two of them naturally started playing cards. At this moment, the card game was intense, and they were not paying attention at all. No one's answering. Su Chao frowned and called again. Lu Chen 11 had already touched her mobile phone. After seeing the call from Su Chao, she rolled her eyes and directly hung up. She hugged Wang Qingguang tightly. She hung up again. Su Chao's face became ugly. Could Lu Chen 11 have been killed by Huo Miao? Otherwise, she wouldn't have hung up on me. Unwilling to give up, he called for the second time, but still no one answered. What happened? You call Huo Miao and ask clearly, Feng Lu suggested from the side. Su Chao nodded and called Huo Miao. Huo Miao pressed the answer button, but the mobile phone was snatched by Shen Heng. Hello. Shen Heng deliberately lowered his voice. Hey, this is Huo Miao's phone. Who are you? Su Chao was stunned for a long time, not recognizing Shen Heng's voice at all. Shen Heng sneered, then said slowly in a deep, hoarse voice, She's tired and has fallen asleep. Su Chao's mind went blank. Even when Shen Heng hung up the phone, he hadn't reacted. Huo Miao, there's a man with Huo Miao. How is that possible? Didn't Lu Chen 11 go to the company to pick her up? Didn't we agree on everything? So why is Lu Chen 11 not answering her phone now and blocking my number? And there's a man with Huo Miao. What on earth is going on? That low voice kept ringing in his ears. She's tired and has fallen asleep. This made him almost go crazy. Huo Miao had been with him for half a year, yet he could never completely possess her. And now, she was sleeping with a man he didn't even know. Damn it. His head was buzzing, and his whole body was as stiff as a statue. What's wrong? Feng Lu asked anxiously. I don't know, Su Chao stammered. You don't know? You useless thing. How can you not even make a phone call clearly? Feng Lu cursed. As soon as she opened her mouth, she regretted it a little. The two of them had now changed from a relationship of lovers to one of allies. If I get angry, Su Chao will blame me. However, unexpectedly, Su Chao didn't refute her at all, but just stood there dazed, as if he had lost his soul. After Shen Heng hung up the phone, Huo Miao couldn't help but burst out laughing. You're so bad. Huo Miao looked at Shen Heng with soft eyes. But sister, really? Baby, I love you very much too. Shen Heng held Huo Miao tightly. This ice-cold beauty had now completely devoted her body and soul to him. She was even afraid of falling out of favor and took the initiative to offer the beautiful young widow next door to him. Thinking of Yang Jinxian's outstanding figure, he couldn't help it. You like her? What do you like about Sister Jean? Huo Miao's face was full of jealousy. Good girl. Even with Yang Jinxian, you are still the most important woman in my heart, Shen Heng said seriously. That's more like it. Huo Miao pouted, then said softly, You can't abandon me and ignore me. Of course not. Shen Heng hugged Huo Miao tightly. All right, it's not like I'm jealous. After all, I was the one who took the initiative to contact her. I was already prepared. Huo Miao leaned against Shen Heng's chest. After a moment of warmth, she opened her mouth and said, We should call Sister Jean and the others over now. Oh right. Jean said there are 2 more people in their underground passage. It's Feng Lu and Su Chao. Those 2 couldn't wait any longer and came looking for us. Shen Heng sneered. I'll tell them to get lost now. Shen Heng had neatly arranged several small cameras in the underground tunnel. The underground tunnel was only dimly lit, so it was impossible to spot them. He opened his mobile phone and checked the situation in the underground tunnel, finding Feng Lu scolding Su Chao. While Su Chao was distracted, his expression dazed. It seems that my bubbly sound just now had a considerable impact, completely confusing Su Chao. Stop scolding. After a long while, Su Chao finally regained his senses and said with a ferocious expression, If you say one more curse word, you can go back and sleep by yourself tonight. Don't even think about entering my house. Feng Lu had never seen Su Chao with such a distorted expression. Even when he had scolded her before, it was only with a look of contempt. But now, she found that there seemed to be a murderous intent hidden in Su Chao's eyes. You? What's wrong with you? Didn't I just make a phone call? I was just anxious and wanted to ask about your situation, Feng Lu stammered. Su Chao gritted his teeth, ignored Feng Lu, and strode south along the underground tunnel. Now that Shen Heng completely didn't trust him and Lu Chen 11 had lost contact, he himself felt that his mind was in a mess, unable to figure out how things had turned out this way. More importantly, Huo Miao had betrayed him. This bitch, isn't she always pure and innocent? She was with me for half a year, yet she never let me touch her. I'm clearly her boyfriend, but now, this woman is tired and asleep? Why is she tired? The veins on both sides of his temples suddenly bulged, his eyes wide with anger, and he walked very fast. Where are you going? Feng Lu asked weakly. Are you an idiot? If you don't go back, what are you doing here? Shen Heng has made it clear that he doesn't want to let us in. If you want to stay, that's up to you. I'm going back. Su Chao didn't even turn his head. Hey, wait for me. I'm coming back too. Although she really wanted to move into Shen Heng's warm house tonight, it was clear that Shen Heng didn't believe her. Moreover, he was very sure that her relationship with Su Chao was not normal. He already knew. Feng Lu quietly followed behind Su Chao, recalling, if he already knew everything, then I should just be honest with him. That way, there's still a chance. After all, I've been with him for 3 years. Even if you raise a dog, you'd have feelings for it. As long as I recall some of the beautiful memories between the two of us, will Shen Heng forgive me? At worst, I'll kneel and beg him. As long as I can get into his house, I'll try my best to serve him. Feng Lu secretly glanced at Su Chao, who was walking quickly with his head down, and cursed in her heart. Su Chao is such a piece of trash. Tomorrow morning, I'll sneak away and be honest with Shen Heng. This time, we're really going our separate ways. Seeing the two of them leave through the surveillance camera, Shen Heng got dressed neatly. He went into the underground tunnel and walked to the basement door of Villa number 3 next door. Shen Heng knocked on the door and at the same time sent a message to Yang Jinxian. They've been driven away. It's me outside. Open the door. After receiving the WeChat message, Yang Jinxian breathed a sigh of relief. But then, her heart felt a little heavy. It's Shen Heng outside. Do I really want to go with him? Thinking of Song Zhengming's entanglement, she made up her mind. Yang Jinxian pulled her sister to the basement, looked through the peephole, and saw that it was indeed only Shen Heng. She opened the door. As soon as she saw Shen Heng, her face immediately turned red. Thinking that she had accepted Huo Miao's request, she still found it hard to believe. Let's go. Seeing Yang Jinxian in front of her with the shy look of a young girl, and thinking of the messages she had just sent to Huo Miao, Shen Heng couldn't hold back. He stepped forward, took Yang Jinxian's hand, and said, let's go. Being pulled by Shen Heng's large hand, Yang Jinxian's face turned even redder. Instinctively, she followed Shen Heng, leaving with her sister. Shen Heng, do I have to call you brother-in-law from now on? Yang Muxian was a bit playful, winking at Shen Heng. Shen Heng didn't speak. Yang Jinxian had already glared at her sister. Shut up. Haha, brother-in-law, my sister's face is red. Yang Muxian chuckled. Keep your voice down. What if those two come back? Yang Jinxian quickly pulled her sister back. Don't worry. Shen Heng waved his hand. He didn't explain further. Actually, Feng Lu and Su Chao were looking for him. However, looking at Yang Jinxian's appearance, it seemed that someone was monitoring her, which was why she was in a panic to escape. It was convenient for him. After walking a few steps, Shen Heng stopped right at the basement door of Villa number 4. Yang Jinxian and Yang Muxian's faces were a little anxious. They urged in a low voice, Let's hurry up. Go where? Shen Heng was a little puzzled. Under the horrified gazes of the two, he went up and knocked on the door. Open the door. What? Both Yang Jinxian and Yang Muxian were confused. What surprised the two of them even more was that the door suddenly opened, revealing Huo Miao's beautiful face. Honey. Huo Miao hugged Shen Heng tightly, then smiled and made a welcoming gesture to the two dumbfounded sisters. Welcome to our home. From now on, this is our home. Our home. Yang Jinxian's lips trembled, and she couldn't speak for a long time. Yang Muxian looked as if she had just seen a ghost. My sister had said before that this villa number 4 was hers. So why are Shen Heng and Huo Miao here? Then, who was making the noise from villa number 4 before? Yang Jinxian and Yang Muxian, the two sisters, were completely confused. Instinctively, The two of them followed Shun Hung into the house, and the sight of the items inside the house completely shocked them. From the second basement to the first floor, everything was piled high with various supplies. The sight was truly dazzling. What surprised them even more was that the room was as warm as spring. As soon as they entered, a wave of warmth hit them in the face. They were wearing thick clothes, and after standing there for a while, they felt extremely hot. If you have anything to ask, we can talk about it later. Huo Miao took the initiative to come over, helped them take off their coats, and then said, "Let's take a shower first." Yang Jinxian and Yang Muxian looked at each other and blushed with embarrassment. For more than 4 days, the two of them had not been able to take a shower, and their bodies were now dirty. The two sisters nodded. The four of them went up to the first floor. Huo Miao took a set of pajamas and entered a bathroom, then signaled for Yang Muxian to go in and take a shower. After Yang Muxian had entered the bathroom, she led Yang Jinxian into the bathroom in the bedroom. "Sister Jean, this is a set of pajamas to change into. You can take a shower here. I'll prepare a meal for you." Huo Miao smiled gently. Yang Jinxian's embarrassment also gradually subsided. She nodded. "Thank you." She had a belly full of doubts. This was clearly the room she had decorated and prepared to give to her sister. Why were Shun Hung and Huo Miao here now? And these two acted as if they were the owners of the house. It really made her feel a little absurd. Also, the noises from Villa number 4 before were caused by them. So where were the people Song Zhengming sent to monitor me? Forget it. Taking a shower is the most important thing right now. She was a bit of a clean freak, and her whole body had long felt uncomfortable. Before entering the bathroom, she glanced at Shun Hung. She had already agreed to be one of Shun Heng's women. Just thinking about it made her feel embarrassed. If I had known Shun Hung was next door, I definitely wouldn't have been so relaxed. Entering the bathroom, she even locked the door. Then, the sound of rushing water was heard. Lying in the bathtub, Yang Jinxian almost cried out loud. She didn't even have a sip of water to drink, yet Shun Heng's house was so luxurious that she could even soak in the bathtub. Just a tub of bathwater like this, I'm afraid the people outside would go crazy fighting for it. Hearing the noise in the bathroom, Huo Miao frowned and looked at Shun Hung sitting by the bed. "My good big brother, aren't you going in yet?" She had realized that when she opened the basement door, the two sisters, Yang Jinxian and Yang Muxian, were in a daze. It wasn't because they saw the rich supplies in the room that they showed a look of surprise, but because they felt that Shun Hung and I being right next to them was unbelievable. Could it be that they thought Shun Hung and I shouldn't be next door? Thinking about it, it's true. If Shun Hung and Yang Jinxian were neighbors separated by a wall, they should have been very familiar with each other. But Yang Jinxian was surprised, which meant that in her heart, Shun Hung shouldn't be here. Combined with the fact that when she was with Su Chao before, she often had dinner with Shun Hung and Feng Lu. Shun Heng's parents were both dead. They didn't leave any property at all. Even the room in the Taoyuan community was bought with money Shun Hung had earned by working hard. How could he possibly live in a villa like this? Shun Hung had never explained, and she would not take the initiative to ask. But Huo Miao, with her delicate mind, had immediately guessed the reason. Looking at Yang Jinxian's expression, it seemed that she couldn't accept the fact that Shun Hung was next door to her at all. So, the condition she had agreed to before, would she object or regret it? She urged Shun Hung, who was standing beside her. "What are you still standing there for? Don't tell me you don't want it at this time. As soon as I mentioned Yang Jinxian's name, you were so anxious you went crazy." Cough, cough. Shun Hung coughed twice. She locked the door. "I can't just barge in, can I?" Huo Miao took out a key, unlocked it, and placed it in Shun Heng's hand. "I deliberately led her into this bathroom. After she's done showering, the bedroom is right outside." "Humph. For you, I've really racked my brains. All right, I'll go make dinner first. I won't disturb your fun." After saying this, Huo Miao glanced at Shun Hung, turned, and walked out of the bedroom, carefully closing the door behind her to avoid being disturbed by Yang Muxian later. As soon as the door closed, only Shun Hung was left in the bedroom. From the adjacent bathroom, the sound of water could still be heard. Shun Hung looked at the key in his hand, took a deep breath, stood up, and gently opened the door. He was no gentleman. Besides, things had already come to this. Wouldn't it be pretentious not to go in? As soon as he opened the door, he saw Yang Jinxian's fair, jade-like arm reaching out to play with the water. Her face showed a satisfied expression. Finally, I can have a comfortable bath. But unexpectedly, the bathroom door opened wide. She was shocked and turned her head to see Shinhong. Her face immediately turned red. How did you get in? I locked the door. I have a key, Shinhong said with a grin. I want to take a bath too. Yang Muxian finished her shower, dried her hair, and walked out of the bathroom, immediately smelling the fragrant and enticing aroma of food. You're done with your shower? Huo Miao looked up and said with a smile, Go dry your hair first. Even though it's warm in the room, don't catch a cold. Okay. Yang Muxian nodded. Where's my sister? She's in the other bathroom, Huo Miao said. After she's done, we'll eat together. You must be starving, right? Thank you, Sister Miao. Yang Muxian sniffed the aroma of food in the air and went to dry her hair. After drying her hair, she still didn't see her sister. Yang Muxian was a little strange for a moment. Sister Miao, isn't she done with her shower yet? That's right. It might take a while. Huo Miao waved her hand. Don't just stand there, come and help. Yang Muxian nodded obediently and quickly ran into the kitchen. Looking at the familiar kitchen utensils, she felt a little awkward. Every single thing in this villa was carefully chosen by her and her sister. Now, she was like a guest, while Huo Miao was like the true mistress of the house. Sister Miao, is this brother-in-law's house? Yang Muxian couldn't help but ask. That's right, Huo Miao said casually. Whose else could it be? This is my house. Yang Muxian frowned, her face full of doubt. Huo Miao, I don't mean anything else. I'm very grateful that you let us in. But this villa was prepared for me by my sister. Even the kitchen utensils and cabinets in this room were chosen by me personally. Huo Miao stopped her stir-frying and looked at Yang Muxian in surprise. Not only this villa, but the entire 2 villas on the west side all belong to my sister. Yang Muxian frowned. Her birthday is on February 3rd, so her sister deliberately chose villa number 3 at the beginning, and then bought the vacant villa number 4 next to it. She deliberately gave it to me. Last year, she found a designer to complete the decoration. Every single thing here was chosen by me and my sister. Every once in a while, we would call a maid to clean. So, Huo Miao's voice turned cold by several degrees. So, Yang Muxian opened her mouth but didn't dare to speak. I don't know whose villa this is. To me, it's not that important. Huo Miao turned her head and said indifferently, I only know that Shun Heng brought me here to live. He is my man. Where he is, I am. Yang Muxian lowered her head. She didn't say a word. She was a little afraid of Huo Miao's stern expression and didn't dare to refute at all. Besides, it was Huo Miao who had taken in and helped her and her sister. The other party had already moved in, so they couldn't just give up the villa. They had no way to call the police either. Don't be ridiculous. So many people have died outside now, and no one cares. So no one will care even more if a room is occupied. Huo Miao didn't continue to speak. She silently stir-fried the vegetables. She could see that Yang Jinxian was gentle, kind, and reasonable, but Yang Muxian was like a spoiled little sister, playful and mischievous. She wanted to show her authority as the mistress of the house and directly suppress them. Yang Jinxian was easy to talk to, and she had already told her before that even if she received Shun Heng's favor, she would still take her as the leader. But with Yang Muxian, she wanted to give her a show of force. She had to make her realize that even if Yang Muxian became Shun Heng's woman in the future, she was still the main wife. While the two were silent, a faint sound suddenly came from the room, from the bathroom to the bedroom. Hearing this sound, Sister Jean was continuously defeated in the battle, completely no match for my husband. Should I go in and help? Huo Miao was a little distracted. Yang Muxian naturally heard the sound too. Her face first showed a look of doubt, then her eyes suddenly widened, showing a look of shock. Could it be that sister is already with brother-in-law? This is too fast. No wonder I didn't see sister after she finished her shower. With Shin Hum. So that's it. The two of them became even more silent, quietly listening. It wasn't until the sound in the room subsided that Huo Miao turned her head and instructed, serve the food. Yang Muxian obediently listened and did as she was told. 5 dishes and 1 soup were quickly served. The various aromas of the dishes made Yang Muxian's saliva almost drool out. I really want to sneak a bite. Shredded pork with chili peppers, stir-fried bok choy with shiitake mushrooms, stir-fried eggplant with minced meat, Coca-Cola chicken wings, and also a mixed vegetable dish, and soy-braised beef, along with a pot of hot three-delicacy tofu soup. Smelling the various flavors, she wished she could swallow her own tongue. But since Huo Miao hadn't started eating, she didn't dare to start first. She could only wait quietly. A moment later, Shun Heng and Yang Jinxian walked out of the bedroom with rosy faces. After seeing the two people at the dining table, their faces turned even redder. The feeling after days of separation made her infatuated, and the noise just now was not small. It was obvious that these two had heard it. At this moment, her sister's gaze towards her was quite complicated. Let's go, let's eat first. I'm exhausted. I'm hungry too. Shun Heng took Yang Jinxian's hand and walked to the dining table. Yang Jinxian glared at Shun Heng. You still have the nerve to say it. If it weren't for you just now, how could I have? However, Shun Heng had indeed conquered her, leaving her with an endless aftertaste. She was even a little infatuated with Shun Heng. No wonder Huo Miao wanted to find more girlfriends for Shun Heng. Huo Miao alone, I'm afraid, couldn't handle this monster. Sitting at the table, Huo Miao had already taken the initiative to serve soup for everyone. Shun Heng, Yang Jinxian said softly. She had too many doubts she wanted to ask, but just now, when Shun Heng entered the room, the two of them had naturally started playing cards together. Yang Jinxian was already used to this. Now sitting at the familiar dining table, she wanted to ask, but as soon as she opened her mouth, Huo Miao immediately interrupted her. Sister Jean, you should call him husband. Yang Jinxian's face turned red. Thinking that she and Shun Heng already had the relationship of husband and wife, she said in a low voice, Who husband? Both Shun Heng and Huo Miao nodded in satisfaction. Shun Heng was because he was extremely enjoying it. He never expected that this beautiful young widow neighbor next door would now be sitting beside him, calling him husband. And Huo Miao was satisfied because Yang Jinxian was still very obedient to her. It seems that her position is secure. I want to ask you, Yang Jinxian said carefully. Did you buy this room? On the side, Yang Muxian had just finished a bowl of soup and was about to have more. Hearing this, she stopped her action and listened intently. No. Shun Heng waved his hand. If I had bought this room, we would have been neighbors long ago. You wouldn't have just met me on that rainy day. Then why did you move in? Yang Jinxian asked again. When? Just on that rainy day? Shun Heng smiled. My girlfriend and my best friend cheated on me and kicked me out of the house. I happened to meet you, and I thought, having a beautiful neighbor is not bad. So I moved in. Yang Jinxian and Yang Muxian's eyes widened, and they both looked at Huo Miao. Huo Miao waved her hand. The girlfriend he's talking about is not me. I'm his best friend's girlfriend. You guys are really playing with fire. The two sisters, Yang Jinxian, once again widened their eyes. She's Su Chao's girlfriend. Su Chao stole my house, so I stole Su Chao's house, Shun Heng said with a smile. Huo Miao lightly punched Shun Heng and then snuggled into his arms. Although I'm Su Chao's girlfriend, I've never been touched by him. You're my first man. I know, of course. Shun Heng held Huo Miao. Yang Jinxian was not jealous at all. From the moment she decided to follow Shun Heng, she had already prepared herself mentally. This house is mine. Yang Jinxian hesitated for a moment and said in a low voice. This house was decorated by me last year. It was originally prepared for my sister. But husband, since you've moved in, then when the snow stops, I'll have Muxian redecorate the villa next door. After the snow stops, Shun Heng shook his head slightly. Although this snow will not stop in the next few days, it will continue to fall intermittently afterwards. And the temperature will always remain at -70 degrees. The snow will not stop. Yang Jinxian saw his expression and said in surprise, I don't think so. Shun Heng didn't talk about what happened in his previous life, but said indifferently, the whole world, since the day the heavy rain started, has completely changed. In his previous life, both Huo Miao and Yang Jinxian were already dead. As for Yang Muxian, there was a high probability that she had also died at school. But in this life, he had saved them, and they had become his women. Unconsciously, this butterfly, Shun Heng, had flapped its wings and changed the fate of many people. If he knew that Wang Qingguang was not dead either, he would probably be even more emotional. Brother-in-law, where did you get so many supplies? Yang Muxian's eyes lit up, and she suddenly asked. You don't need to worry about this. On the contrary, you just need to know that the supplies in my hands are definitely not just the little bit you see in the basement. Even the four of us combined, we can't finish eating them in our next life, Shin Hung said with a smile. The vending machine was his secret. Even Huo Miao, he would not tell. But speaking of which, Yang Muxian calling me brother-in-law. This title is a bit fast-paced. In the future, when I deal with her, making her hug me and call me brother-in-law will definitely have a special flavor.